Quinton Eriya, also known as Quinton Beastwood, a young self-coached open IFBB pro bodybuilder previously with Jansen, one of the best if not the best shapes and mindsets in the open IFBB, with 4 second place pro shows this year, competing at Texas Pro, Tampa Pro, Italy, Germany, and France Pro, all barely missing his Olympia qualification, and 2 of which barely coming second to Earth.
I spoke to Chris Tuttle, and he gave me some really good advice on how to keep my check-in process more objective and to lean less on other people. So he recommended the year before with the mat situation. I don't know if I've ever spoken about this. I was on the verge of retiring. I'm like, I'm tired of this shit. I put everything into this. I sacrificed so much. I didn't go out. I was doing everything I was supposed to. It blew up in my face. So I started drinking. In the off seasons, I have gone up to 7,000 calories. Now last year, I was up to like during prep, I'm way more healthy than I am in the off season. One of the biggest problems for me in this prep started in the off season. I like the MOTS-C. I did like the SLU-PP. I do that during the prep. It works extremely well for Martin, and it works extremely well for Urs, but...
What's up, brother?
How's it going?
Pretty fucking good, man. How you doing? How's the jet lag going?
It's good. It's like when I'm awake, I feel okay. It's just when I go to sleep, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't even remember the last time I've had fucking overseas jet lag, so I'm actually extremely worried. But I don't know. I'm fucking stoked, man. I haven't been traveling in I don't even know how long. Yeah, I don't know how long. It was like years and stuff. And I realized like I've just been like you know when you're like on prep and you're just so focused and everything.
Yeah.
I also feel like I use that as an excuse to just not go anywhere and not do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I get that. It's a good excuse at times.
Except you fucking travel, dude.
Yeah.
All over Europe.
Yeah.
How was that?
Bro, it was an awesome experience, bro. Like, Europe is so beautiful. And I just, there's so many things whenever you travel, so many things that you can learn and kind of gain from like different places, the different way people do things. I just love the vibe in Europe. Everybody just seems like they're enjoying their life a bit more than over here.
Like they're like a little bit more present, maybe?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of nice. I remember I traveled. I had the blessing of my parents traveling a lot because of my dad's job when I was younger. So I traveled to Europe a lot when I was a kid. But you know, when you're a kid, you just don't appreciate that shit.
No.
You're just like, I want to like. The highlight of my trips was always watching the movies in the airplane. Which like I'm looking back on, I'm like, God, dude, I was so fucking embarrassing.
That's hilarious.
Like, we would be like at the Great Wall of China, and like my mom would be asking me if we could take pictures, and then it would be like 10 pictures, and then 15 pictures, and then 20 pictures, and then 25 pictures.
Yeah.
And I'd just be like, God, I fucking hate this. And I'm looking at back on it, and I'm just like, how did I not fucking appreciate that, dude? That was like the most beautiful place. Like, God, it's so fucking sad. But whatever. It's growing up.
Sorry, my cat's attacking something.
You're good, brother. By the way, I just wanted to say, I don't think I told you this, but I think it was around like last year sometime, or maybe the year before, where I first found you. And then slowly after that, I think you created the video kind of opening up about your experience with Matt and moving forward, which I thought was fucking awesome, by the way.
Well,
so I like went in and creeped on your Instagram account because I was like, damn, this guy's fucking huge. Creeped on your Instagram, and then I saw that you and your girl and some of your homies were going to raves and shit. And I was like, this guy fucking knows. Fucking ultra, baby.
Yeah, it's a crazy time, man. Yeah, fuck. It's funny because I actually didn't do it for like 10 years. I stopped, and I was just one of those people that's like, okay, I'm just bodybuilding. I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah.
Partying, no going out. Like I'd maybe have a drink like once or twice a year. And me and my girlfriend, she kind of like brought that fun side out of me again.
Hell yeah.
Doing it, and I really enjoyed it. So
that's awesome, dog.
It's a great fucking time, man.
That's cool, bro.
Yeah.
I actually had to do that for my girl. I had to bring out her fun side because she likes to be more wholesome and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, let's go do a raid till 4 a.m. Come on. It's off season. Let's go. Gotta get some steps in, baby. I don't do cardio on treadmill anyways.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, good old days. I feel like if you're a bodybuilder, you got to do something like that, though. Yeah. How do people look at you when you're out there? People just like staring at you, bro.
It's you get a lot. You get approached all the time. Like it's pretty crazy because when you go to those things, like if I'm ever like going to the bathroom by myself, women will like grab me, and I'm just like, oh shit,
Oh shit.
it's pretty wild.
It's funny. Does your girl ever see women grab you?
One time, I think she was like right behind me. She's like, "What the heck?" I'm like,
What the hell? What the hell?
Oh, usually it's guys when it's like they're being kind. They're just like shocked, right? Which is totally fine, but it happens.
How many of those guys just ask you for your workout routine?
Oh my!
You're just like,
dude. I'd probably have way more stories if I wasn't so blitzed.
That's awesome. I fucking swear, every time they ask for the workout routine, I'm just like, I don't know what to say. Like chest, shoulders, back, legs. I don't know. It's kind of hard to fucking say something. I don't know. Well, congrats on this last year, bro. Like it was clear you're on a fucking mission, and your showings were fucking incredible, brother. Those last 5 showings were awesome. I think they were amongst the most consistent, and your shape was unreal and probably one of my favorites up there. And I think it was pretty clear that this is your best physique and most accomplished season by far. And I think you made a damn statement.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like now it feels like that all happened so long ago.
Yeah.
It's been so busy since.
Even though it's only been like a couple months, right?
Yeah. Just like maybe like 8 weeks since the last one. But
it's super short.
No, it's been a crazy time. But yeah, man, it was a cool experience, getting to see Europe, getting to compete. And I got to compete against a lot of guys that I've never competed against, that I've had a lot of respect for, that I've watched over the years. So, I got to focus on those moments, because when it's all said and done, those are the things that you're going to cherish the most, the moments, the times that you and your friends were laughing backstage, your girlfriend was backstage. And there's a lot of times and moments that I really captured, the way I made sure to live in the moment this year and enjoy everything, or enjoy as much as I could.
It's funny, bro. I don't know why I didn't. Maybe I have to think harder because I have ADHD and I forget everything. But like, I feel like this year was the first year I really made sure to just enjoy it and be super present with bodybuilding. I think all the past years, I would always be a little bit more anxious about like my placing and my future and like the goals. Be like, oh man, like I just need to get to this goal, so I need to do whatever it takes. But this year I realized, like after listening to all these podcasts of all these, pros that I look up to, all these retired bodybuilders, a lot that were on Foods podcast, of course, they're always like preaching just, bro, like the one thing I wish I did was be more present and enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Plus, like fucking what they all say is every time they enjoyed it, every time they just had fun with it, every time they were just like, I love doing this, and the stress was low, that was the best physique. So fucking try to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to at times because there's just so many variables involved in it. It's hard to go in with a level head, but yeah, I think it's definitely the best approach, because you would be in a contest prep for like 16 weeks, 20 weeks, sometimes 24 weeks. And when you're just focused on like one day, like you're overlooking 6 months of time, So it's like, just for one day, and if that day doesn't go the way you want it to, then it's like,
oh God, it fucking sucks.
Like, man, I had a miserable 6 months, and now everything's gonna suck leading up to the next one, because now everybody's shitting on me online. So it's hey, you gotta look for you gotta make lemonade out of something.
Yeah, for real. I'm very proud of your last season, though, and I think it was awesome, dude. And I think the potential is painfully obvious, especially considering that the stack this entire last year, not the fucking lineup for this entire last year was stacked, incredibly fucking stacked. Plus, I know this. I don't know if you've ever really just had this high of placings consistently, like fucking 5 shows in a row, which is pretty nuts, dude. And I got to be real too. I love Urs, and in Italy for his debut, his hardness, his pop and conditioning, and his front was just, I think, undeniable. But in the second showing against Urs in Germany, I feel like you kind of deserved the dub, to be honest. And I feel like he looked a little less dry and a little put together, less put together than his open debut, and that you outsize him in many poses. And I was thinking, but maybe that's just me. And then I listened to your pod with Chris and Milos just the other day, and it sounds like Milos and Samson kind of felt a little bit similar to me too. But I mean, hey, I guess that's just our opinion, and we weren't really there.
Yeah.
But I think that shows a lot.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Yeah, man. It was, to go into this year with this whole self-coaching process, I really had no idea what it was going to look like. I knew that I would be good enough. Like I knew I'd figure it out, but it was just more so like, okay, some of the things that I've done in the past maybe haven't worked the best. Some things worked terribly. Some things
Hmm.
worked really well many years ago when I had a lot less muscle. So let's
Yeah.
just figure something out. So I just was trying different things. I mean, a lot of it was just very simple, train hard. And I focus a lot more on staying full for the majority of the beginning of prep, where there was some obstacles that kind of arose around that time. I think the biggest issue was I let myself gain a little too much weight in the off season. So this off season, I'm already handling it much differently. But
Okay.
yeah, for the prep, I just kind of went with the flow, man. Just did what I felt made the most sense in the moment. And I tried not to stress myself out too much. And yeah, it was just with the peaking process, that was something I had no freaking clue about. So yeah, I mean, I know what I've done with coaches before, but I just
Right.
think when you come in with like new tissue, everything's
Yeah.
different. You could do
Everything is
the
different.
exact same
Absolutely, bro.
thing, and it's just not going to work the same. So it's like it's something there you have to be paying attention to what's happening, like day by day, hour by hour. So going through that and figuring that out was pretty interesting. But I just know next year I'll be even better with everything.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I would absolutely love to go in depth into this if you're open to it, because I think
Yeah.
this is something that's extremely valuable to people. And I don't know if you've ever really, I don't think I've seen anything online that you've discussed in depth regarding like your new coaching or like how you attack this versus like how coaching was before.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people run into this too, because all of us are like kind of, it's easy for us to trust a coach, but at the same time, when something happens or they like instruct something that you're kind of just like, about, you know, that kind of gets us in a little stickler where we're just like, do I really need this much sodium like before I'm going on stage? Like I feel like this is exceeding exactly what I need or whatever. And sometimes you have these certain gut feelings. And obviously recently we've been seeing a lot of coach jumping. So I guess first off, back on Foods Pod a year ago that I listened to that you were on, I remember you stating that when you were with Matt, you mentioned that you just like the fact that you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Right. And I can totally get that because as there's like this decision fatigue, and as the show comes around, it's like you want to reduce the amount of fatigue as possible. And just overthinking about things just fucking exhausts me, man. And it definitely raises my cortisol. So I guess now that you've separated from Matt and you attack this by yourself, what was your new mindset going into this?
My new mindset was that regardless of how I did it, I knew I was going to figure it out. So even I basically got in good enough shape right before the Tampa Pro. Like literally the week of that show, I got into the condition that I wanted,
Hmm.
and I wasn't stressed about it. I'm just like, okay, like I'm pushing my body at this point. I really, really pushed myself that last week, and I didn't get much out of it, but I just always believe that it's going to work out. And, I kind of like went into the peak week with that more calm and accepting mindset and just really believed that things would work out. And honestly, I had a really good drop and the look drastically improved. So,
Nice. Hell yeah.
yeah, I honestly just trying to keep this thing called the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. That's basically the
No.
mindset that I went into every show with. Like I try to keep everything as simple as possible.
I like that. Stefan Kienzl says the same thing. He thinks people, most coaches just overcomplicate bodybuilding, especially
Mm,
peak week. And then at that point, you're kind of like you're more at risk of just destroying all the fucking hard work that you put into it in the first place.
yeah. Like,
When you said that you pushed hard this prep, how would you compare your push this prep versus your pushes with Matt? Like, was your diet any more stringent, or was it about the same cardio?
diet, I was eating more this prep for a majority of the prep. My cardio, okay, so when I worked with Matt, my cardio went up to about 2 hours a day.
Jesus Christ. Fuck.
Yeah. And I'm a big guy. So even if I do like 30 minutes of cardio in the morning, like I can feel what I lose from that cardio in the workout. So I normally like to train a little bit early. So even if it's split up like cardio 5 a.m., workout 11 a.m., I can
Mm.
still feel like a little bit, it's like something's lost when I do when I do that training session. So I pretty much made sure to stay away from the fasted cardio for as long as possible before it made more sense in terms of scheduling. Because then you start getting to that crazy prep mindset where you're like, okay, I don't want to be in public in the evening. I'm like, I can't stand being around people in the evening. So yeah, I would start to do the fasted cardio in the morning. The most I've ever gone up to was, I want to say, I had 40 minutes and then an extra 10 minutes on some days before that first portion of the prep. And then in Italy, or heading to Italy when I was in the UK, the most cardio that I did at that point was 55 minutes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was my peak. So almost like basically half of what I did last year. The diet was low, and the training intensity this year was way better than it was ever in my life. And I think that's what carried things on better.
Dude, I love seeing this because I feel like this is progressively and like an evolution in coaching and just, I think, managing fatigue in general when it comes to preps. That it's clear that preserving training performance is just so much more important than just running yourself into the ground with 2 hours of cardio. And it's becoming more clear. Chris Tuttle did this with Jordan, where they're like, all right, let's like make sure that you're recovering properly. If you're doing too much cardio, then we're going to limit that. Same thing with Martin Fitzwater when he won Olympia, when he came 5th at Olympia and then won Prague. They did the same thing with Boss, where basically they added, I'm trying to remember how much cardio, if it was 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so or something on the bike. I think it was 20 minutes on the bike. He had 20 minutes on the bike for like 2 to 3 weeks. And they realized that he started flattening out and it was already affecting his training a little bit. So Boss is like, honestly, bro, I would rather just like run even like a couple like quote unquote junk sets or just like a couple extra sets into legs and just hit that shit hard and train fucking hard rather than like doing this cardio, because I just feel like it's not working well for me. And they dropped the cardio and he came in fucking peeled. They just did their own little depletion phase, and which was 0 carbs for about 1.5 weeks, and then he started filling out pretty immensely. And bro, like, dude was peeled as fuck when he came on stage.
Holy shit!
So yeah, the no carb thing is scary though, bro.
Yeah, I'd be a little worried at first.
I could barely handle 70 grams of carbs, much less thinking about 0 grams of carbs, especially at that guy's size. I'm just like, dude, how are you not starving to fucking death?
Yeah. Oh, you
crazy.
probably smoke a lot of weed; it'll help.
Oh my god, that would be crazy. If you don't mind me asking, where in their journey with Matt did you start feeling like progress wasn't progressing and that the partnership might not be benefiting you?
So I'm the kind of person that when I work with a coach, I just trust the process entirely. And, when I look at myself and like something looks off, this is very normal. Sometimes I look my best this year and I'm thinking, something's a little off. And I would run it by one of my good friends and they let me know what they thought, because they could see it more objectively from the outside in. And I would lean on, my good friends to tell me like where I was and where I wasn't. So when you have a coach, you trust that your coach is the person in that position. So if something is a little off, they're going to tell you. So as much as sometimes I thought I saw something I was off, he always eased my mind. And I was like, okay, this is my coach. I hired him for a reason. So I trusted what he was telling me, and I wasn't going to other people. The last thing that I would ever do if I'm working with a coach is go to other coaches. Hey, what do you think? I'm not that kind of person. And a lot of people were respectful of our collaboration. So even though there was friends I had at the gym that saw me and probably were like, what the fuck's going on? They were respecting that collaboration. So they weren't trying to like step on anybody's toes or poach or anything. So I just never got another opinion during that time period. And I thought, okay, maybe I'm just a little flat, and maybe we're just going to do a crazy peak week protocol and fill out completely. But I just trusted the process.
I'm trying to remember what you mentioned in the video, but I guess what exactly was the gear situation with Matt?
So, sorry, ask that again.
What exactly was the gear situation with Matt? Was there?
No, it was
was
fine.
there any?
No, nothing. Okay. Nothing bad. No. It was the week after the show, or the couple days after the show, where I wasn't really getting anything from him, like feedback. And then at that point, the whole world, the bodybuilding world, is like giving me their 2 cents about my performance, about my appearance at the New York, and it's pretty much like 90% negative. right? So my coach is telling me, no, man, you look amazing. You killed it. But then everyone else is like, dude, you fucked up. Like something's bad. And I think Phil Viz, you know Phil Viz?
Yeah. Yeah.
He was he was one of the guys that was very outspoken at the time. And he posted a throwback of me at the Texas Pro in 2022.
Oh my God.
And then me at the New York in 24. And I remember at first I was annoyed. I didn't agree with anything I saw at first. I was annoyed at it, whatever. And then I think it stumbled on my feet again. And I actually looked at the comparison picture. And I'm like, holy fuck. Like I'm actually better 2 years ago. Like, wait, how did I get to 330 pounds, hold this weight for a fucking full year, for more than a year in the off season, and then come in smaller? I'm like, what happened? Now my brain is starting to unravel. I'm like, what just happened? You know, what the fuck just happened? And how am I just realizing this? So, yeah, it was, and it's all Phil Viz's fault. Like, no. And then there was also comparison pics of those, like, I think they're like Brazilian fan pages, and they're like doing pics of me being compared to Chris Bumstead. And I'm like, oh my God,
Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Classic now. So it was, I'm like, okay, something clearly went wrong. I'm clearly much smaller than people expected me to be, smaller than I expected to be, right? So I just, I said, this is one of the things I probably wouldn't recommend to a lot of people. I started reading the comments, and I also went to see people that made videos like attacking people when they don't look their best. And I watched the videos because I wanted to gain the other perspective, because I wasn't being told like an objective truth. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I honestly could see where they're coming from. I get what they're saying. So, it wasn't like nice to hear, but it was also good in the sense that it kind of gave me some clarity. I'm like, okay, I know exactly what went wrong. And yeah.
Gotcha. What do you think, what do you feel like happened? Do you feel like maybe he just like ran you into the ground with a lot of cardio and just really, really low on diet, or like kind of like a situation where Samson was trying to come in as peeled enough as possible for Olympia, or what do you think the situation might have been?
So, listen, I always want to give somebody the benefit of the doubt, and
which is respectable.
Yeah, with my kind of physique, similar to like a Samson and an Andrew, I think, there's some people who you're going to get that super paper dry look. And if you just diet them harder, they're going to get that look, and then you could just stop and fill them out. And it's good, I think, with certain body types. If you do that, you don't necessarily, you're not going to look, the athlete's not going to necessarily look drier and drier and drier. You start to kind of look smaller and flatter, and then have that same level of condition. So I think from a certain point in the 270s, he's like, okay, we just need a little bit more, and just kept pushing. And he was looking at certain things. Like, these things need to be tighter, and they weren't necessarily getting much tighter. So he kept pushing, but the juice just wasn't worth the squeeze. That's what I believe. But that's me giving him the benefit of the doubt. And then obviously the other situations with the other athletes. So I just think, just was a bad timing for us.
I think that would make a lot of sense, honestly, man. Because like for every athlete, there's like this individual response where you have to tailor just how much you're pushing, because there's like a give and take, right? Like some athletes, like they'll get a little bit more glute striation, but in trade for what? Maybe they might lose like a large percentage of their leg circumference, and this happens with all these athletes. They all have their own little like trademark part that just gets lost in, the process. And most of the time, this is normally the muscle group that just is the newest, I guess, what is it called? The newest gains.
Yeah.
Like Urs pushing for classic, normally his arms always get lost, even if he builds it up during the off season. So I think this is just something that we all have to look out for. For me, it seems like mine is my chest and my legs that go first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I think normally the darker skinned athletes tend to experience what you feel like you're experiencing more often. And then it's always the white guys that they just push hard and they get fucking hard as nails and shit somewhere. They might have like one random body part that's always like fucking always fucking like never gets shredded like fucking Jared Feather in his glutes or like
Yeah.
freaking like Urs in his back, but then they always just get hard as nails in all the other body parts. But I don't know. It's interesting stuff. So I guess that's what makes bodybuilding fun, honestly, is because we all have to tailor it to ourselves. So I think that's also why a lot of the audience likes to listen to this podcast, because it's like a fucking live video Reddit forum where like literally, you get to actually see the athlete talking about their experience. Yeah. And then the people in the audience can be like, is this what I'm experiencing, or is this something different than mine? Like, how does this apply to me, and how does this apply to like my next preps? So it helps a lot to hear your experiences. When you did these 5 shows, was there any point in time where like you had to make some hard decisions and it was kind of hard for you to make that decision for yourself?
Like I had to cut certain people out, like cut certain people off, like just, it wasn't like there was like negative energy.
Okay.
So that's something that I had to do. But honestly, it wasn't a hard decision. When you're deep in prep, like anything like emotional, is like, no, I don't care. I guess like, nah, we just need peace, quiet, and just function. We need things to function right now. So yeah,
bro, the last 3 weeks of prep, I just have this itch to kind of just almost cut everybody off, which is almost probably like too far in the opposite direction. But
Joe, I've been there. I've had some preps where I like end up unfollowing like half the people I follow, and then like afterwards, like, you know, they might message me or I'll see them and I'm like, oh, I don't know why I did that. Like I really like this person.
That's funny. Gotcha. Okay, so I guess for these last 5 shows, if you don't mind me asking, what did the prep and the peaking look like? Like how high were your calories and how low did they go?
So, in terms of like, so I'd like to, just based on memory, I want to say my depletion days, they'd range from like 3,000 to 4,000 calories, just depending on the show, because every show was a little different.
And how tall are you again?
6'1", like just over 6'1", yeah.
Big ass motherfucker. I know you get to like what, 330 or something in your off season, some crazy shit.
I've been there. I'm trying not to this year though.
That's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah. And, doing cardio, doing high steps and all that. So just I'm making my body composition like a much bigger priority, because I don't think I need to put on a crazy amount of tissue year to year. I know I'm big. I know I have a good amount of tissue. It's just about refining it and not losing anything during the prep. So if I can make the prep easier, I think it's going to look like I did it like double the off season.
Yeah, I've been leaning more towards keeping the body as insulin sensitive as possible throughout the off season, as I've discussed more and more with like some of these coaches that I really trust in. So, you know, like Chris Tuttle. I'm going to go on with Dom Super Slice next week too. Nice. But I'm pretty sure that he has very similar beliefs as to Chris as well. Chris and John Jewett too. It's like, you don't have to push things so freaking hard, you know? And there's a level of, I guess, there's only a level of work that you can do where you still require, your body still requires energy for recovery. So if you're pushing yourself into the ground and you're not recovering by your next training session, this is just hurting your ass, you know? So, yeah, I mean, because I know the old school way of off seasoning was like just fucking going hard, right? Going ham. Fucking, I think Lee Priest kind of made a lot of people think that they could just slam some fucking burgers in the off season and gain 200 fucking pounds, and then, you know, that's how you get huge as fuck. But not everybody has what is it called, man? God, fuck, what is it? What is that thing called where it's like it prevents you from gaining extra muscle, and if you have a you could have like God, I sound like a dumbass right now. Starts with an M. I'm just brain farting.
Metabolism?
No, it's
mesomorph, endomorph, that shit.
You know what? This is actually important. I need to look this shit up. Hold on, you give me a second. Fucking inhibition. What is YK11? Oh, myostatin. Fucking God, I'm so dumb. All right.
Oh,
Yeah. Fucking Myostan. Dude, I was hanging out with Danny Hester this last weekend in Vegas, and he was like, yeah, dude, Lee Priest was my roommate. That guy actually had like a myostatin inhibition deficiency, which I don't know. I don't know how true that is. But I mean, I could fucking believe it considering how fucking huge Lee got when he was a teenager, dude. Even before he jumped on. So I don't know. But
he was always impressive.
Dude, always, man. It was fucking nuts, man. Like my all-time goals is to get arms like that, which I never will, but it's fine. I'll just imagine it in my dreams.
Keep driving for. We all are.
Yeah. But what was I saying? Yeah, I experimented with doing a rebound last year with Patrick, and Patrick likes to push hard because he believes that you just have to. I'm trying to remember who else has this. I think I'm just in this mind state of brain farting right now. But basically, there's this classic idea that you want to push the boundary as hard as possible in the beginning, because after you get to a certain body fat percentage and your metabolism starts slowing down, the gain starts slowing down as well. So you kind of just want to get at it from the very beginning. And it's kind of like this old school mentality. That's what I did last year. Now, I don't know if the reason that I didn't make as many gains is also because I didn't have an opportunity for a health phase, but I just didn't make as many gains last year pushing hard and not having like a 12-week, 8-week or whatever off cycle after the show ended. Versus the year before, I gained like 7 pounds. Last year I gained close to around maybe like 5 pounds of like lean tissue. So that was my own experience.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I've done I've never, so after every show, I've basically come off. Like I've never done like a full rebound going balls to the wall. Always just come off, and like I still train hard, or try to, as much as my body can handle after a certain point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's after every show. I do believe that we need that balance. And then once your body's primed, and I think with super compensation from competing and being in that like depleted state, to just eating a ton of new calories, I think you do build a good amount of tissue doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the key factor, is that when you are in that insulin sensitive state, because you're in that state and you're consuming all this new food that you haven't been consuming for a long time, this is the perfect opportunity for you to take advantage of that and go on an off cycle or an off season, because you can only gain so much muscle in a certain amount of time, no matter what you're doing, bro, no matter how much you're pushing. So if you have that, that's almost like a handicap for you being off cycle, and that supports you maintaining the muscle mass when you're off cycle. And then when you jump back on, that's the new stimulus for you to start making some crazy gains, especially if your training stimulus increases as well.
Oh, exactly.
So yeah, and Chris talked about that in our last podcast together. So fucking love that dude.
Yeah. I've had off seasons where I've pushed very hard, and that's kind of like been in my mind, because even when I did last year's off season, I kind of pushed similar to how I would in the past. But this year's a lot different. I do want to keep things a lot more tight with the diet. Like, so I'm not pushing food that hard. If I make room to eat out, I'll take out like 2 meals, like I just want to make sure that I'm always in a good spot, that I'm always in shape, that I always feel good. And honestly, my training performance, even being off cycle, is better than it's ever been. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So just, I think taking care of these things, make sure your body's healthy and functioning at a high capacity, like you're going to get the most out of it in the long term.
I agree. Bro, my training performance goes down a lot when I'm eating way too much. Like I'm still digesting the food when I'm in the gym. Like, bro, it crashes. It's bad.
Bro, it's like you're always digesting food from the minute you wake up. I can't even sleep at night because my body's still breaking down. Same, bro. Plus, I'll fucking part of the problem is probably because I can smoke weed at night too. So then I just eat more before bed, and then it just fucks me up. Oh yeah.
So that's great. If you eat out, what's your first choice?
Well, honestly, after going to Japan for like 10 days, I just a burger and fries, man. I've always been my go-to, but like, bro, when I was there, it didn't feel right to have a burger and fries because I'm in Japan. Yeah. So I had sure. Japanese or Asian cuisine, but man,
sushi.
They had. So my girlfriend hated the sushi there.
Really?
He hated it.
Why?
It's more flavorful the way they make it in North America. Like we have our own little spins on things. I think the way they make it here is better for us. But
yeah.
But I tried it and I can appreciate it. It's different.
Okay.
It's different. Like it's like the meat, like the fish is bigger. Like the portions of the fish they give there are like bigger. The quality's much. Hey, relax. The quality's much better. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I liked it.
At least good protein for bodybuilders.
Exactly.
Cool.
Went there post workout one day and it was good.
Yeah. Because I guess I'll be there in 2 weeks, so I'm trying to get some fucking advice from you.
Which part are you going to?
I think we're just going to send it to Tokyo first. Yeah.
Do you have any plan for like gyms while you're there?
I haven't planned anything yet, bro. I need to. I think one of the things I'm worried about too is that I think most of the gyms there, I don't know about Tokyo, but most of the gyms in Japan, obviously they don't really like people with tattoos to have those tattoos exposed. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Especially at like bathing houses and shit like that too. So I don't know what I'm going to have to do if I need to wrap some fucking scarf around my neck or some shit.
We were told that, and we had a lot of people that have tattoos in our group and we never ran into any problems. Now we went to bodybuilding specific gyms. So it seemed like it wasn't really much of a thing over there. But after the pod, I could send you some of the gym. I went to this gym. His name's Sean. He's a men's physique pro. He has a gym it's outside of Tokyo. It's called Kaneken Fitness Gym, I think. It was a really, I'll send it to you after. But that was my favorite gym when I went out there. Like they had a really good, I like the equipment. It looks really nice in there. And yeah, it was a fucking sick time.
Okay, cool. This is going to be really helpful, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
For peaking for the last 5 shows, what did you do for that? What was the plan? Because I know you wanted to keep it simple, right?
Yeah. So basically, I had the depletion days until about the Wednesday or Thursday. So in Europe, most of the shows were on Sunday.
Oh, hold on. For reference, how much do you eat in the off season?
In the off seasons, I have gone up to like 7,000 calories.
Okay.
Now last year,
savage.
Last year I was up to like 5,000 to 6,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So in prep, like I was lucky enough for most of the prep to be dieting close to like 4,000 calories. So yeah, that was between 3,000 and 4,000 for the depletion workouts or for the depletion days. And then when I started loading up, I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that was from 4 days out. Okay. Hold on, my head's all messed up. I think that's 4 days.
Jet lag.
It shows on Sunday. Yeah, the jet lag is killing me. Yeah, so from the 4th day, just depending on where my physique was, where my weight was, like I could tell, okay, like I'm gonna have to push this a little hard because let's say my weight was starting to tank from being on the depletion days for so long. Because during the regular week, basically the depletion days were my everyday diet, right? And I would do like a refeed or a high day. And normally once after the first show, they were all just clean high days. So I would do that like once or twice a week, just depending. And that was just to keep myself from flattening out too much, keep my performance good. So when I did that for like 4 to 5 days extended, I started to get really flat. So sometimes I would start the peak on the Friday start the filling out process on the Friday, sometimes the Thursday. And basically I would just kind of ramp it up a little bit. So the first day might be like about 5,500 calories. And then the next day is like 10,000, 11,000 calories.
Fuck.
And then
shit.
The day before is basically the same, about 10 to 11,000 calories. And then the day of the show, it was less just because I didn't want to be full on stage, but probably around 7,000 calories, at least around 6,000 before getting on stage.
Do you happen to know approximately how many carbs and fats you were consuming?
Let me see if I have it here. There's an app that I use sometimes. I don't know if I put this all into the app at those times. No, I don't think I have it in the app there. I could tell you the amount of food. Hold on, let me go to my notes.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Okay. So for Germany, this is one day out of the Germany show. So I had So at this point, my meat portions are about 4 ounces of meat. For the first meal, I had 160 grams cream of rice, 30 grams almond butter, a banana, a bagel, 10 grams of honey.
Nice.
For the second meal,
was gas.
it was good. 500 grams of rice, 100-gram avocado.
Fuck, 500 grams of rice?
Yeah.
Is that, I'm assuming that's uncooked, right?
It's cooked.
500 grams of rice cooked.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Holy fuck, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. 50 grams asparagus, 4 rice cakes. Then the next meal, same thing, about 4 ounces of meat, and then 150 grams oatmeal, 20 grams almond butter, 100 grams raspberry, 20 grams honey, 50 grams asparagus, and a banana. And that's essentially what it was. And then I added an extra meal at the end of the night, which was, again, 4 ounces of, so 7 meals total, because normally it would be 6.
Yeah.
7 meals total. And then, 500 grams of rice, 100 gram avocado, 15 grams honey, 50 grams asparagus. So basically the meals were consistently around there. Yeah.
Okay.
With 7 meals, it was about 10 to 11,000 calories.
This fucking savage, brother. That's so sick. 500 grams of rice in one meal is nuts. Yeah. I think I was eating like 120 grams of how many? I had 6 meals and I was eating like 120 grams of rice per meal around there. Nice. So it ended up being around like, yeah, I know. I didn't have the fucking, dude, I know I'm fucking small and my fucking stomach would still be full of shit. But I mean, that was like what? It ended up being like around 550 to 600 grams of carbs each day. Mm-hmm. For you, I know it was like way over there. Fucking goddamn, bro.
I gotta punch it in later. It's I'm curious now.
Yeah, I'm fucking curious. Holy shit, dude.
The thing is, I always what worked best for me was always writing down the diet, like the measurements of things, the calories, and focusing on the macros. I did that for a bit, but for some reason, I just felt like it worked better when I just wrote out the amounts. So I just stuck with that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think just different styles work for different people. Yeah. Plus, I think I remember you saying in one of the podcasts too that you like to do your diet in the old school way with just the measurements of each food.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Real quick, guys. So while I was looking at the YouTube analytics, I actually saw that 85% of you guys that watch this channel are not subscribed. And I want to ask very little of you guys, but if you enjoy this podcast, if you find value in it, then please do me this one favor and subscribe to the channel, because doing so helps me get bigger and greater guests like the guests you are listening to today. Also, this channel is not sponsored, which means only the companies that I work with, which are Young LA and Huge Supplements, are the companies that can help fund this channel by you guys using the code NILE. So code NILE gives you a discount of 15% off of Young LA, and code NILE also gives you a discount of 10% off of Huge Supplements. And if you decide to purchase anything from any of these companies, it will help immensely for me by using my code. And this way, I can travel to other guests and also upgrade an equipment to make this podcast bigger and better for you guys. I'm just a fucking nerd, so I used to do macros for like the longest time, like fucking the last 7 years. And then being with Patrick, obviously, and some of these coaches forced me to do the old school way. So I just fucking ended up familiarizing myself, because I would just get their food and then I would still input it into my app for some reason, because I got this like neurotic tick or something where I have to like have it in the app. But it's cool though, because now I can like kind of understand how much like 120 grams of rice or fucking 500 grams of rice or something would end up being in the amount of carbs. But how did you do anything for your GI tract and GI health, or to like keep digestion flowing?
So I use I work with HC Muscle. I use all their health supplements. Mm-hmm. One of the big things that I implemented and I made sure to have with me on every trip. Well, there's a lot of HC products I brought with me on every trip, but the glutamine, like I would slam like 10 grams of that in the morning, 10 grams midday, like another 10 grams at night. And just that.
Dude, I feel like megadosing glutamine has helped a lot of bodybuilders more than they think. And Martin, this last show with Boss, they had decided to like up the glutamine to immense levels. And they said it helped a lot, and he was running 40 grams a day. So kind of like you, 10 grams 4 times a day.
Yeah, okay, right on. Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, it works, man. Like I really didn't have to. So in my morning shake, usually I would have the glutamine, 10 grams of glutamine. I would have a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, one of the not lemon, the lemon juice without sugar.
Yeah.
And if I could find it in that country, I would also have like aloe vera. So like 2 tablespoons of that. So I would just mix it all together, have that in the morning. And the Germany show was probably the biggest amount of food I ate leading into the show. And that specific show, I had no issues. The week before in Italy, I had like acid reflux. I had to like slow down what I was eating at times. Germany, for some reason, I was just on fire. I could just...
Okay. And you're not really sure why you had the acid reflux in Italy. You're not really sure where that came from.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure, to be honest. Like,
is that when did you? That was your first show in Europe too, though, right?
Italy, yeah.
When did you land for Italy?
What did I wait?
When did you land?
Oh,
from your flight.
We landed on the Tuesday. Yeah,
Tuesday before.
Got there Tuesday, and the show was on Sunday.
Sometimes I wonder if just like the flight creates like excess stress in your system, including in your GI tract. I feel like there's always been a potential possibility for that. I don't know. I feel like flights just fuck me up for some reason.
They fuck me up too, man. They fuck me up. See, the thing is, we're coming from the UK, so it was only like an hour and a half flight. So in my head, I didn't think it would damage me too much. It wasn't like I was coming from North America. Like that definitely would have been a lot more taxing, but. Yeah, I was also really deep in the hole in Italy. Like I was really, really flat at that point. I lost too much weight heading into that show. So I think I had the amount that I had to go, even though I did eat more in Germany, I think my body was just more stable there. Whereas in Italy, like I was putting weight back on with the amount that I was eating.
You don't feel like the quality of food had anything to do with it, do you? Like, no. In those countries? No.
It's better. It's much better than in Canada and definitely better than the US. So,
or I guess like Germany compared to Italy.
Oh,
I'm just shooting shit out there, honestly.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Like Germany, I had my best experience ever. Just in terms of many, that was my favorite trip all over. Like I'd go back and have a good time. Like that was a
fuck.
I'd go back to Italy too. Don't get me wrong. Like Italy was awesome.
We need to hit up the dark raves in Berlin. Fuck.
Let's do it.
That'd be fucking so. Yeah. That's cool, bro. Germany looked savage too. Your look in Germany was absolutely fucking savage.
Thank you, man.
It just looked huge.
Yeah, it was such a cool experience. And you know, the fans in Germany were, dude, like that audience was insane. Like they were loud. They had those freaking, I don't know what those things are. They slapped them together. It was almost like a soccer game. Like you felt like you were
hilarious.
For the Europeans, you're at a football game, you know, like it was wild. They were going nuts. And the thing is, Urs would come on, they'd go crazy, but it wasn't like exclusive to Urs. It was just every German bodybuilder that went up, they went crazy. Dude, when Tim Budesheim went up, they went fucking AWOL. And I was cool. We're just there like, whoa, now that's a audience, man. Like
that's sick.
That's cool.
Damn, that's dope. Fuck. Yeah, I really want to, I need to let go of the whole and figure out the whole like traveling and flights fucking me up and shit, because I would just love to travel for shows. I feel like that's such a cool experience. Then afterwards, you guys got to like check out some shit, you know?
What I will say, food. When you're in prep, when you're deep enough in prep, I think it's better because you're already feeling like shit from the prep. And like, you know, when you're high stress, so if you can get some sleep at night, it's like you might be going to sleep for like 4 or 5 hours and that's it. So because I feel like you don't really get that jet lag. At least I didn't, because I always was able to choose when I would have that sleep instead of like, now it's like my body's on the circadian rhythm and like this is the time I sleep. So now when I traveled and I came back, it messed me up where I'm sleeping in the middle of the day for like 5 hours, right? So yeah, I think it might be a little better than you think. And then when you're in that prep mindset, man, it seems harder than it is. But when you actually do it, it's like you'll feel like you could do anything.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. What do you pack whenever you go to these shows, especially overseas?
What do I pack when I go to the shows?
Yeah. Whenever you're going to like all of these shows, especially when
Okay.
you're going overseas.
Let's see. What do I bring like a sweater or a blanket. I bring some extra nut butter, some rice cakes.
Nice.
I usually bring like for the Europe shows, or basically the Europe shows come on at nighttime, right? So they air around like afternoonish in North America, but they're on at nighttime over there. So you're already like
Damn.
4 or 5 meals in. So
That's interesting.
I'd only bring like one meal potentially if there's like some sort of delays, but they wrap those shows up pretty quick. So I'd have one meal and like a couple snacks backstage. I'd have like a bottle of water, some salt, honey, and like I said, like a blanket, a pillow, backup shirt, get comfortable backstage. And something that I would forget to bring sometimes was a t-shirt, because it gets hot.
I always forget a t-shirt everywhere I go.
Oh, yeah. Just stuck in a sweater, you start sweating, worrying about the tan and shit. Yeah.
I have to ask because I feel like I pack so much shit whenever I'm going to these shows. Like I pack already a lot whenever I'm just going anywhere, much less going to these shows. Like I feel like I'm a walking supplement store as a bodybuilder. And I asked Wesley Visitors, and he says he has a whole nother luggage just for all the supplements. So that's why I had to ask, because I was just curious. Like, do you end up bringing a lot of supplements with you as well?
Okay, yeah. So for the travel from like country to country, I bring all my health supplements. And if I was staying long, like I was in Europe for 5 weeks, I think, from the UK to Italy to Germany. So yeah, within that trip. So I did that, and I also had stuff shipped to me at times. So
okay, that's cool.
I would, if I'm going to be stationed somewhere for long enough, I will also have stuff shipped, because it's just not worth bringing everything with me on those trips, just because it's more shit to carry. But I had 2 luggages.
What supplements do you normally take around this time? During prep.
So we have like these like really high end like multis called Vita HD, and this is something I recommend for all athletes. It just gives you all the nutrients that you need at doses that people that are very active would need. So I use that all the time. We have a liver support product, kidney support. We have omegas, curcumin, magnesium. Like, bro, I use everything. Citrus bergamot. I basically bring the entire supplement store with me. You know,
same brother. That's so fucking annoying. Same.
I bring me like 3 glutamines. Usually I cut when I'm traveling. I'll just cut the protein out, and that saves like a lot of space. And it's heavy and it's big, so I don't really have a lot of protein during those time periods, like protein tubs.
Okay.
So yeah, that's probably the only product that I don't have when I'm like on the road and competing. But yeah, everything else I bring with me.
Is that just because you try to like preserve it for real food?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I digest it very well, but I find that when I'm very close to show, it takes a little bit longer for me to digest than some other things. So I just want to minimize the amount of sweeteners that I have as well.
Okay.
I cut that out.
You don't happen to have lactose intolerance, do you?
I do actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
bro. I literally can, honestly, I can only do whey isolate around that time. Like, I have lactose intolerance too. So it's like, if I do whey isolates though, normally I have absolutely zero issue, especially because, it's some of the lactose is filtered. But whenever it comes to my dad, I just got a text from my dad congratulating me on the best posing award.
No,
that's funny.
Nice.
That's awesome, bro. My dad and I didn't have the greatest relationship growing up. So it's really cool to have such a good relationship with him now. Anyways, without having to be deep. So what was I saying about? Yeah, dude, the fucking lactose thing just wrecks me. So if I can't do any normal whey around then.
Yeah.
And then the sugar, like I feel like I've like experimented with sugar substitutes around prep, and none of them have made any difference except for sugar alcohols like erythritol. That shit fucking tears me up. So honestly, like erythritol, sugar alcohols, I just try to avoid that throughout all of prep. But I have tried doing like no sugar substitutes for like several weeks before the show, and then I tried just running it up to the show, and I swear to God, man, I haven't experienced a difference, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so
I don't know.
There's certain things that I do, like the protein is something I do cut out. There's certain sauces that I won't cut out just leading up to the show from, I think about 3-4 days out is finally when I cut out some things. Like if I am drinking Diet Coke, Sprite Zeros, that's something I'll cut out at least around 4 or 5 days out.
Yeah,
And,
same.
I just feel a little bloated when I drink that kind of stuff. Just a tiny bit, nothing crazy, but just around 4 or 5 days out. Like I cut that out. I've cut it out 2 weeks before, cut it out a couple of days out before, and it is basically the same result.
Gotcha.
But I know I definitely have to cut it out at least a couple of days.
Yeah. I cut it out at least for a few days as well. Cool. If you don't mind me discussing this and asking about this, because the reason I'm curious is I did my own little experiment, and I also discussed this with Martin in the last pod, and he had some really valuable information to share as well. But basically, Patrick Pitor had me running no orals except for like Proviron, and then obviously the Halo for my first show, which was shocking to me because I'm just like, bro, I've always run Winstrol for all my shows.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, since this was our first prep, he wanted to start me at the lowest cycle and lowest stack, because that's what he likes to do, is like start slow, start low, and then grow with his athletes. And so we did that, and honestly, it was an interesting look that I was expecting more of like this kind of like geared out, full fucking like thin skin look, right? Normally that's what we go for at shows. Obviously I didn't really get that, but some of my lines were a little bit deeper, and also I had so many people telling me that my skin looked amazing before a show, even people that don't follow bodybuilding, so they had no clue what I was doing or what I was on. They were just like, your skin looks so great or whatever. Like, what do you do? And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just not running orals. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And then I'm fucking Asian. And then coming as the show came closer, I noticed my face kept staying sunken in. And I'll notice sometimes for some of my preps that doesn't happen. Like I gain this like water retention in my cheeks sometimes as the show comes closer around. But basically the feedback for the first show was that I wasn't quite as full as the other athletes, and also from people that weren't the judges. Some people in the crowd were saying I looked like less like geared out according like compared to like the top 5 and some of the other competitors. And so I think to achieve this look, I kind of proposed this argument to Patrick, and I was like, they're saying I look like I'm running less gear, and he's like, yeah, that's a fact. You're probably running like half an Olympian stack right now, but slow and steady runs the race. Obviously, as we increase and you build up, you know, it's going to increase. And I'm like, well, what would you think about me adding Winstrol for the next 2 shows for us to just experiment? And he was open to it. So I added 37.5 milligrams of Winstrol for the second show, which was 3 weeks later, and then 50 milligrams of Winstrol for the next show, which was another 3 weeks later after that. And I came in fuller each time, and like a little bit like the lines in like the glutes, for example, weren't quite as like sunken in, and my face started gaining some like water retention in the cheeks. Each show, like I had like a little bit more water retention in the cheeks. But there was like, I don't know if you've ever heard Stefan Kienzl use this term, but there was more pressure as the muscle was like pressing against the skin. You know that look?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously vascularity was increasing as well. So I think that look the judges liked, and I think they rewarded that at my last show a lot more than like my first show, which just didn't have that like full tight look. Even though it's classic, it seemed like the judges still liked that look. So it was cool to see that made an improvement. But for that last show though, bro, like my digestion was perfect for the first show, and then for that last show, man, my digestion was kind of fucked, to be honest. Like just a lot of farting, a lot of bloating, and I had to like do some extra management to make sure like everything was going down fine, using betaine as well, and Tudka, and oral BPC and KPV and all of these things to make sure that my inflammation was down. So I guess my curiosity is like, your waist is just so fucking small, bro, and I just feel like you maintain that at all your shows so well. And Martin has had some issues as well himself with like some orals, and so they like pick and choose. But I was wondering like if there's any orals that you ran for the shows, and if there's any orals that you experience more digestive discomfort, or I guess digestive like disturbing, if at all.
So it's funny that you say that, because honestly there was some experiences where I'm like, man, my stomach's blown out here. Like,
yeah.
But I think it's just, we all have like a vision of how we want to look in our own heads.
Yeah.
if you see something's off by like a centimeter, you're like, ugh, it's all
yeah.
you look at, but other people might not notice it.
Right.
It's funny. I mean, thank you. It's funny. It's nice to hear that because I was like, there's some shows where I'm like, ugh. I'm like, oh man, I'm losing. It's going. So yeah, no, honestly, I'm not very resistant to anything, to be honest. Like, there's nothing. I just think it's when there's an accumulation of a lot of things, then I will start to feel that like pushback. Start to have more digestive issues. But yeah, no, I'm not really that sensitive to many of the things.
Okay. And you haven't really had to play around with anything to like try to bring your waist back down or whatever?
No, not for that. For the France show, I was trying to be mindful because I thought that the Germany show, I thought my waist was I thought it could have been tighter. So the France show, I just timed the meals a little bit better. And I'm trying to think what else I did. I guess it's just better with timing, and I didn't eat as much as I did in Germany. But also I got pretty sick. The second I flew back home from Germany, I was sick, and my body it was hard to bounce back. So I ended up flying home and then flying back to Europe in the next 5 days.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So there's like a film that I couldn't get rid of. So I'm like, okay, I can't really push the food as hard because this film makes me look less lean. And if I push and now I'm full and soft, it's not going to equate to a very good look. So I pulled it back a little bit so I could control the abdomen more and not be like just watery and, just like a fluff ball on stage. Now, I guess it didn't work because I didn't win. I mean, I guess depending on your outlook, I guess it worked well to come second, right? But yeah, so that was my experience with that. But for me, it would just be with how I time stuff and just slightly reducing food and seeing if we could get more. I noticed specifically with my preps, one of the biggest things with the issue with fullness and flatness was doing shows that were at night. I've never competed at night before. I've never worked with maybe Romania. I did Romania many years ago. I just don't remember much of it. So I only did one show at night before. I don't remember that experience, right? So just having to peak myself for this show when I'm very familiar with the data I have from like morning shows, it was definitely more challenging and trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do with the water manipulation? That was probably the biggest challenge for me with this whole I think when it came to, supplementation, orals, food, I don't think a lot of these things were as big of problems they might have seemed to me at the time. I think one of the biggest issues was just finding the balance of the water manipulation and making sure that I'm hydrated enough but not bloated and full of water by the time I compete. Because I don't know if you're like me, but usually by the end of the night, I'm just retaining a ton of water.
Oh, yeah. I'm 1,000% like you, bro. I try to tell Patrick this all the time, and he's like still pushing some fucking sodium and water in me, and I'm just like, bro, I'm going to... He's like, no, we got to get you fuller by finals. And I'm like, well, my fucking abs are gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, no, it's a struggle trying to find that balance and get that like hard granite, that hard granite, like dry look for the night show. But yeah, that was basically what we had to try and do for prejudging and finals because they're basically at the same time.
Yeah, that's kind of fucking cool though. I fucking love it when they're so close together, man.
See, but the only negative thing is that when it's at nighttime, bro, like, okay, imagine you wake up to compete and you're just like, all right, it's show day. And you wake up at 5 a.m. because you can't sleep because of prep. You're up at 4:30 a.m. and the show is not till 7 p.m.
Oh, Jesus
so you're just
Christ,
like, oh, like how many hours can I lay down with my feet up? How many shows, how many movies can I watch before it's like, and then you get to the venue and then you still gotta wait.
Right. And I'm just like, I don't know how I would even stay dry for that. I just don't. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't think I'd be the best for open. Like I was even thinking about that when I was at Olympia watching the open guys go on at 11 p.m. for prejudging. I was like, that's fucking crazy, dude. I would be a fucking water bag and I'd be tired.
Yeah,
it's just fatigued, insane. Honestly.
I'd be like, listen, somebody get me the strongest sleeping pill you could find. I'm going to sleep at 7 a.m. and I'm going to wake up at 5. and run it like that.
Honestly, bro.
That's what
Honestly.
I want to do.
Yeah. Well, since you were speaking about water, like what did you do for water and sodium for these shows? And were they ever different show to show?
They were, for the Italy show, I pulled the water completely. Or not complete, but basically we pulled most of the water like from the morning of the show, and
Okay.
that was a mistake. That was
okay.
That was a mistake, yeah. But again, like this year, I was trying.
Why was that a mistake?
Because the look was flatter, and I don't think. Okay, so it was flatter. Like I did dig myself into quite a hole right before the Italy show. So there was a component of it where I could have been fuller if I didn't dig myself that deep, if I didn't deplete so hard.
Yeah.
But then it was also, I needed to be more hydrated for my muscles to look fuller the day of the show. So that was just a learning experience. And, I took second place, and I think it was because I wasn't as full as I should have been. So then for Germany, I corrected it, and I was a lot better with the water. Now, again, same thing, like with the water, it's like you still want to be careful because you're still like trying to fill out and maintain fullness. So you don't want to start drinking water, and all of a sudden you're like actually just holding water, right? So
yeah, absolutely. It's fucking like little, it's a fucking tiny balance, man, that you have to just like, oh, not too far and not too close, whatever. And then all these coaches, even my coach had me do this time, and I know Hanny's done this a lot, but it's like drink as much as you pee, and sometimes some of these coaches will literally make you like measure out your piss in like a bottle or something, and then not drink that piss, but drink piss water.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
I've heard that. I don't know if this is true. I heard one of them would make you measure your shit. Now, I don't want to believe that's true. That sounds a bit ridiculous, but if it works, it works.
That's crazy. I don't even know how that. What?
Yeah,
I don't even know how that would work, bro. What
true.
the fuck?
I hope it's not true, but that's what I heard about one of them.
I feel like I think your shit's like less. It's just. I feel like it's less measurable in terms of like your food volume and what you're consuming. Like I tried carnivore for a period of time, and the shits were like way smaller, if I remember correctly. Like it's just like it changes based off of like the types of food you're consuming as well. So I don't know. It's interesting shit.
Very
no pun intended.
Yeah. No, I've drinking in the amount that you think you're losing when pissed. Yeah, I've been told to do that, but for me, I've always felt weird about it because it didn't seem as measurable. But I guess if you're actually measuring what you're peeing, then yeah, that would probably be the way to do it. But I do feel weird about that, putting that on my scale. I have to get another scale just for that,
Including my little drug scale where I measure all my salt that people think is cocaine. It's fantastic. Yeah. What did you do for water for Germany?
Oh, so I just kept sipping on water essentially from the first portion of the day. Before I ate, I drank about a liter. I had a coffee and, kind of flushed that out pretty easily. Then I ate, and as I ate, I'd have about 250 to 500 milliliters between meals. So It wasn't like drinking a ton of water, but I was just keeping that in like throughout the day with meals with a very steady progress.
Yeah.
And, I was able to maintain the look that I had. But a part of me still feels after the fact, I'm like, I could have drank even more water. Like, I think I could have been even more. Like the amount of food I was eating was 100% more than enough. Like I know for a fact the amount of food I ate at these shows was more than I needed. So I know if I could have been fuller, it had to have been water.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's just
and that
find the
you
balance.
Probably right, and you probably would still come in just as dry but fuller, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a little bit more water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like even when you come off stage, I'm like I went between the pre-jetting and finals, which is like 45 minutes apart. Mm-hmm. I ate a meal, and I also drank some water. I think I should have just drank water. Like I did drink water, but I should have just drank like a liter of water. Or like a liter instead of eating. I don't even think the food did anything for me except for like kind of like keep my body busy with digestion.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's just little things like that where you have to you have to go through, you have to experience it to know, okay, this is what would have made me better. Because like, I'm not going to add an extra 50 calories to that. Like I've never eaten that amount of food in my life. So I know that this was enough food, you know? But like I said, you live and you learn, and I'm very excited because now I have a lot of data to work with. Like I went into this year confident, knowing nothing essentially about how any of this was going to go. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to try some things out and we'll see what works. We'll find what works. And now I know exactly, okay, this works, this works, this works. This didn't work, and just have these things all noted down so I know exactly how to master it next year.
Bro, that's fucking awesome, man. How does that feel to literally have your best season ever by yourself?
Bro, it feels great, man. It feels great. I mean, I just think my body is not the easiest to figure out for a coach. I think, working with somebody that Dorian Hamilton is an incredible coach as well. And I learned a lot from him. We've had some good showings together. I just don't think that I'm someone that's easy to figure out. And I think by the time I hire someone and they figure out how my body works, it's like, okay, well, we've already lost 1 show, 2 show, 3 show. It's like you've already like kind of wasted these experiences. And you see it with other athletes that have harder bodies to figure out, and they start coach hopping, right? And people get on them because they're coach hopping. And honestly, I just think it's not simple for everybody, man. It's a tough process, and it's different for everyone. And, I'm able to identify that it's a little bit different for me than it is for other people. So I'm in my body, man. I've been with me for 30 years. So
absolutely,
I should have some level of understanding as to how this works.
Right. Yeah. I remember us talking about this in the DMs that like, that's the thing is like these coaches will provide such valuable information for you to learn from. But in the end, you know your own body the best by far, as long as you're obviously also considering the observations of others that you trust. If, sometimes we're a little bit biased, right? When we're looking at our body, we get a little self-conscious about things. But I mean, who's the one that's putting in the data and then seeing the results over the course of the last 30 years? It's you. So I think that's the cool thing about bodybuilding. And that's the thing that we all need to remember is that every year we are making progress, but we're putting data in the data book and we're learning our body better. And that's what it is that we're continuously doing that, putting in the work. And that's why it's good for you to log certain things, not just throw something at the dartboard and never log what you're eating or log what you're training or log, I don't know, what you're drinking or your cardio or whatever. As long as you have an idea of what you're doing, that gives you a reference for you to change that up the next time around to make sure that you come in better.
100%.
So it's cool. It's cool. Right. Just for reference, so we know, I guess, how much you dropped in water. How much water were you drinking throughout peak week? Each day? Do you know?
7.5 liters.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was at 6 liters. Huh. I wonder if I guess I never really think about how much you're fucking twice my size, bro. So it makes sense that you have to eat twice my amount of food. But I guess it's not quite the same with water. So I always find that interesting. What about sodium? Do you know how much sodium that you were consuming per meal, or maybe salt?
So I have a 1/4 tablespoon of Himalayan pink salt with every meal, and that's normally with 6 meals. I would have that with 7 meals leading up to the show, and then the day of the show, there was a couple meals where I would have double salt, about 3 meals.
Ooh, shit!
Yeah, where I double the amount of salt in that meal. Yeah.
But you didn't have double the amount of carbs in that meal also, did you? No. Okay.
Just trying to make use. Sorry, yeah.
Just trying to make use of what?
Just trying to make use of just sodium and water that last bit, because like I said, I know I have enough carbs. I know I have enough glycogen, enough food in my system. It's just a matter of just the hydration at that point.
Hydrating the glycogen that's already in there, or hydrating the carbohydrates that you've been consuming. That's very interesting, man. I always felt like I was always scared to drink and consume more salt, I think, closer to the show, because for me, normally when I'm drinking a lot of salt, I tend to spill over very easily. I just my abdomen first becomes watery first. Then I lose my abs. I may have more pop elsewhere, especially if I'm pumping up my chest or pumping up my back pre-stage. Then the salt and water helps a lot with that, right? But it takes away from the abs significantly, to the point where it's I have this film over, and if I do an ab and thigh shot or something like that, I'm going to lose that shot to the other people. So, and I think maybe that's a little bit more significant for me in my head as a problem because I used to compete in men's physique, and it's like, God, dude, that became like one of the most important things about men's physique is your abs. In classic, it seems like that's different, a little bit different, you know, like classic and bodybuilding, they're looking at your overall structure, the overall pressure, the muscle, the overall fullness. So I feel like nowadays I'm hearing that judges like to look at the finals better, like every show, because we come in with a fuller look, which is interesting to me. Because even if it takes away from like a little bit of definition in your abs or a little bit of definition in your glutes, it just seems like they still like that fuller look all around.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been the theme of this competition season for me. Like just understanding, because understanding it's that fullness that they want. You could be tight all around, and there's looks I have where my stomach is tighter, and like I like it better when my stomach is tighter.
Yeah, same.
Sometimes I sacrifice a little bit of fullness for that, and clearly they didn't choose me for certain shows. So, it seemed that they would have preferred for me to just be fuller. And even if that came with me being a little softer in that area, I think it would have been just fine.
Is that the feedback that you got from the judges at each show? Do you remember what the specific feedbacks were?
So for Tampa, Tampa, I didn't even speak of this peak. Tampa's peak, again, because it was the first one, it was just like, all right, I got the dice here and we rolling it. Like, so that one, I had like two of my friends with me, and we're just kind of like showing them what I was doing. I asked them some questions about how I was looking, and ultimately I'd make decisions just based on what I felt would make the most sense, like with pulling water and stuff. And I really liked that look. I really, really liked that look from the Tampa show. But that show, what I did is I ate a ton of food from the Thursday. That show's on a Saturday, so 2 days out. Yeah, 2 days out. I did a ton of food, and then I pulled it back a little bit on the Friday, and then I pulled the water heading into like the Saturday. But that was like a morning show, right? Like those shows are much easier to peak for because you kind of wake up and you have a few hours. So even if like at that time I'm waking up around 5 a.m., let's say I compete around noon, right? 7 hours. Cool. I could get like 2 good meals or maybe 3 in that time on like 7 p.m. So I didn't have to wait around much. So I can my look is still a lot more fresh, a lot more polished in the morning. So I was able to pull the right amount of water before getting on stage. And I thought that look was really good.
What did the judges say about all of these?
So the judge, So for the Tampa look, the judges said I could have been leaner, and I faded in the night show. So the fading thing kind of like is confusing for me sometimes. Yeah. Because I think there's 2 definitions of fading where they're saying like maybe you're not holding your poses as well, or maybe you were losing fullness as you were posing. So next time I need to ask them to clarify which one they're referring to. Yeah. Because that one, they said, okay, I faded a bit in the night show and I could have been leaner. So cool. The Texas show was just a lot going on, and I was just a lot of things going on in that show, and I just missed. Right, I just missed that one, and that one they said, "Hey, I told you to come in sharper." Like, what happened? And I just laughed. I'm like, there's a lot going on, so I just brushed it off. But that was like my bad. Like, I just clearly fucked that up. Yeah. So for the Italy show, I knew they wanted me leaner, so I pushed really hard. So again, I don't think that the juice was worth the squeeze. Yeah. Now, this is the thing where it's like the judges have an idea of what they want to see from you, and I know exactly what they want to see from me. They want to see like almost like a replica of like a Samson or an Andrew Jack. They want to see that kind of fullness, and like the level of condition I'm coming in with, I think is fine. They just want to see that kind of fullness. They want to see that kind of polish, and that's basically it, So even if I'm not lean enough, they're always going to say come in leaner. Like Samson can show up. I think he was at the Arnold's. His criticism was to be leaner. So it's like he was defending Mr. Olympia. And even when he won the Olympia, I'm sure the judges said, listen, like, you're the best in the world, but you can be a little tighter, right? So it's like, there's always going to be that sort of criticism. And I think where I went wrong is I just hyper fixated on the criticism. I'm like, okay, they want me leaner. So I pushed it really hard. And I think I lost a little too much. And again, like I say that and I go and come second in like every show from that point on, which is probably good in the eyes of many, right? It wasn't terrible, but I think, I could have looked better if I held back on that a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, that's just something that I have to learn from. And I think for everyone, like, the judges, yeah. Yeah. So I showed up leaner. I was leaner. Like, I think certain poses in that show were definitely the best, but I just didn't have my fullness. And it wasn't rewarded, even though I brought what I thought I was asked for. So Joey reached out to Jack Sullivan, who was the, I'm drawing a blank. He was judging. He was the head judge.
Yeah.
And he said, listen, like, he's in great condition. I could see that. He said something along these lines. He said, but he also needs to be fullness, and fullness is a part of conditioning. Like, so he's essentially, when he's fuller, when that pressure is pushing, he's going to look leaner, right? And then that's what happened for Germany, because I came fuller. So that show, honestly,
it's funny. Jack Sullivan judged my last show too.
Oh, he did?
Bro has a crazy accent. This like fucking sly Southern accent when he's like, calling out your names, and he's like, I don't know what it is. It's fucking funny. It's interesting though.
It was comforting hearing it in Europe.
Yeah.
Like, you're like an American or Canadian. I'm like, hey.
That's funny.
Yeah. So yeah. So then the Germany show, honestly, Jack gave me all positive like feedback. He didn't really say, hey, you need to work on this. I think he just said, listen, with time, I think the main thing is just fullness and just like more muscle tissue. But I think I just could have been fuller, and I didn't identify what he was saying to me at the time. And in the France show, I didn't show up fuller, so I think that ultimately hurt me. And the Russian guy was very good as well. So yeah, but now I have a much more clear idea of what I need to do for next year. And the hardest thing is having the right people in place, like, to give you the criticism. I think, like, you can have 10 different people and they can all tell you different things. Not that I had 10 people, but sometimes like if one person's influence is like more like fullness, like, no, you're too flat, and you're hearing that kind of stuff, like, it might push you too far in one direction. If one person's like, you're not in shape, it might put you too far in another direction, right? So it's like, when you're in that moment and you're coaching yourself, it's like you need that second opinion. You need it 100%. Like, I need it. Like, I just need, it's like I know how to get there. I just need somebody to kind of put me in the right direction at times, because there's moments where you just can't see yourself objectively. There's moments where I'm like looking at myself, and I think I was telling my girl at one point, I'm like, man, I'm not as hard as I was a couple weeks ago. I'm like, I feel like my glutes were harder in Texas, in Tampa. And, everyone knows us competitors are in our head and kind of crazy at times. So maybe she's thinking, oh, you're just in your head. Like, well, this person's giving you good feedback. So they're giving you good feedback, so you should listen to their feedback. I'm like, yeah, but I feel like I see something, right? And then when I compete, I kind of get like, from the judges, I get kind of both, right? I get the good from what people were telling me, and I also get the part that I was kind of worried about, where I, like I said, in Italy, they said the not being full was preventing like that pressure from pushing on the skin. So like I ended up not looking as lean as I actually was.
Yes.
So I was like, okay. I'm like, that's what it was, right? So just trying to find that balance of like leanness and fullness. So no matter what I learned this year is, no matter what anybody tells you, I don't think one is more important than the other. You need both. Like, if you're lean enough, it's good, but you need to be fucking full. Don't be afraid. Like, you got to be fucking full. And that's like where I'm at for next year. But again, I'll still have to have a good friend there to make sure that I don't push it too much.
I love that you said that, man, because I think I learned the same. I think I learned the same this time too. Is that's the confusing thing too, when a judge is giving you feedback that more so pertains to almost like the peaking process or just how you came in rather than how your actual structure is. Because it's like, at that point, it's like, sometimes you don't really understand fully what they mean by like full, you know what I mean? Because like full could mean looking bigger with more pop. Full could mean like, oh, you look flat, so they think that you need to be fuller so you don't look as flat, so you don't look as like watery, you know, like your skin doesn't look as thick. It could just mean so many different things, you know what I mean? But I think at the end, what they just want to see, and what I see rewarded at all of the shows that I've been to, even if it's classic, has not been who has the smallest waist or the best shape. It's always like just who has that crazy pressure of like the muscle pushing against the skin and the skin just looking dick skin thin, you know? And it's just this fucking full hardness that they just really like. So I don't know. It's that's what I'm trying to keep in mind now as well for myself too, is like just fucking dry, hard, and full. Just be fucking everything, bro.
Yeah. It's really hard to find that balance because I'm more reserved by nature. Like I'm not the type to like
do any extreme things.
Yes, yeah. So it's hard to. Sometimes that's what it takes, right? And that's where if you had a coach, it would be nice because they could be like, "Do this," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do it." But like by myself, it's hard to be like, "Nah, I'm pushing." Like I feel doing that sometimes, even like with the amount of food I was eating, I'm like asking myself, I'm like, am I doing this because I'm fucking hungry, or am I doing this because I actually need to? You know?
Yeah. No, I'm the same way, bro. I'm the exact same way, actually. That's why I get too scared about coaching myself, because I'm just gonna fucking eat because I'm hungry sometimes, and then I get anxious that I'm doing too much because fuck.
Oh man, it's a process.
Yeah, like it's funny that you say that too, because like I've always been on the more conservative side for doing things too, and keeping things simple. But when I heard about how Martin came in, you know, because his peak for both Olympia and Prague was something to talk about. And when he told me how him and Boss did it, I'm like, fuck, that's extreme, dog.
Yeah.
Fucking no carbs for 1.5 to 2 weeks, and then you feed up on like 1,000 grams of carbs a day. Oh, and something else crazy. They fucking pulled injectables and GH 14 days out. Is that not nuts?
I've heard Boss do stuff like that, and I have friends that have worked. I mean, he's coached half the industry at this point. But I don't think like this, the weird thing is like it's just one of those things where it's like things work on a person-to-person basis. Like I met Stefan. I actually really like. He was very, very nice. I really like him. We had a good conversation. But yeah, like it's like it works extremely well for Martin, and it looks like it works extremely well for Urs. I don't know that would be like, I don't know if that would work well for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know, just like it works for some people, and some people it might not.
Right. Yeah. I've no fucking clue if that would work for me either, bro.
If you feel like any of the medications that we spoke about today may benefit you, such as BPC 157, GH secretagogues such as tesamorelin, IGF-1, oxandrolone trochet, semaglutide, then you can obtain these from Jansen HRT, and the link for that will be in the bio. If you feel like you're experiencing symptoms of low testosterone, such as depression, anxiety, lack of motivation, as well as lack of sex drive, then you can get this checked out as well by getting your blood work done at Transcend, and they will provide you expert medical analysis. Transcend HRT has worked with many professional bodybuilders and pro athletes, such as Thor Bjornsson, Phil Heath, and Jeremy Buendia. And if you feel like this podcast has any relevancy to you, I do believe that this clinic will provide of great benefit to you as well.
When do you pull out GH injections, if at all?
Honestly, bro, everything is just basically played by ear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it was like different every show?
Well, because the thing is, when you're traveling too, right? Like it's like, okay, it depends on like what you have access to as well. So for if you're doing like 2 back-to-back shows, like I guess for the second show it would be like you wouldn't have anything in the system for like 2 weeks at that point.
Yeah.
It just depends, but it's based on the year I had and all the traveling. It's kind of been all over, but I honestly don't think, like, I'm not too anal with how that process is, because I think that you're just at a point where, especially when you're using orals, like you're still using anabolics and a lot of that stuff is still in your system. And I've never seen a decline from it. So,
Okay.
the only, obviously the upside is to retain less water, right? And less inflammation on the body, which I do feel like I've experienced that. But yeah, I'd say ideally like at least 4 days or something.
Yeah, that's about me too.
Yeah,
I'm the same. Patrick has me pull. Actually, I think it's even closer than I thought. I think Patrick has me pull tests. I know Patrick does a lot. I see why it's hard to like think about it and talk about it sometimes.
it is.
So Patrick like cuts the test like in half for like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday. I think the last injection of tests is either Wednesday or Tuesday, and then the last injection of like Mast and Tren was Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was Thursday. So it was interesting because I didn't expect to still have an injection like 2 days before the show, I guess. But test was definitely lowered in the beginning of peak week, and then it was cut by, I believe, Wednesday.
How did you feel like, how did your body take like that injection process around that time?
I feel like I had to do it kind of strategically because I was like, man, I don't want any injection problems, you know, because it's coming out so close to the show. So I was able to deal with it just fine because I like to do everyday injections, which tend to be smaller. And then because they're smaller, I just make sure to make them. Normally, if I make it more shallow, I have less of a chance of like hitting a vein or something or doing something that's going to cause it to inflame and create a knot. So I just try to do it more shallow, and then I try to do it in an area that I really feel like is not going to cause a problem. I'm like extra fucking self-conscious about it, where I'm like, if I put it in and I feel like it hit something wrong, I'll fucking take it out and I'll keep doing it again and again until I fucking hit something and I'm like, all right, that's safe. Like, it's fucking bad. And then I think one of the injections, like I'll do it in a place where I know that like my trunks kind of cover at the very, very top of my glute. It's a little weird because there's not very much space there. But since there's not much liquid going in, since peak week, we're cutting the test in half, and then obviously cutting, Thursday is literally just Mass and Tren, and it was 100 mgs of Tren, so the liquid is like that much, it's very small. So that one wasn't the problem. Thursday wasn't an issue because the liquid going in was so fucking tiny. Yeah. So that seemed to like work out fine. Plus, actually, I told Martin that I do this, or I told a lot of the people and a lot of the guests that I do this recently, but I've been experimenting with certain antioxidants and anti-inflammatories for peak week to try to help make sure that I'm not gaining any inflammation or water retention or like consistently maintaining a level of water retention or inflammation. And that would be like liposomal glutathione, KPB and oral BPC. And then I was actually doing like glutathione injections all the way up till the show. But the way that I would do it is there's an Anazao. If you get it compounded from Anazao, you get this non-sting version, like this version that just doesn't hurt as much as other glutathiones. And I would get an insulin needle with, I think it's just a 1/4 inch. So it's extremely tiny inch needle, very shallow, and 30 gauge, I think. And I would just pull that, and the amount of liquid in that syringe is 0.5 milliliters. I would pull it full of glutathione, and I would just inject it into the front delt, and it would go in like butter, like water. And if you inject it in there, there's no knot there, there's no problems there. Maybe it's a little sore for like a couple hours, but other than that, like there's absolutely zero issues, nor can you even see that anything was injected there. And so I'll do that on both delts, and that way I'm having like at least some glutathione coming into my system. And normally I've noticed that whenever I do glutathione injections or IV or whatever, my weight drops the next day, and I feel better as well. And for me, what that feels like is like, okay, I've got a little bit of inflammation reduction. I've got a little bit of like overall stress reduction. I feel like it actually helps. So, I mean, whether or not it's like psychological or not, I do see a little bit of weight drop. So that's something that I've been experimenting with that I feel like helps. Yeah. You always stand up there confident and smiling, bro, which is fucking sick. And I kind of need help with that, honestly, during prejudging. I always have a hard time. Like this last show, I did well during prejudging, and I'm proud of it. But I do tend to have like a higher propensity of like anxiety as prejudging comes around, and then when finals comes around, it's like butter. Like I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
So, I guess what is your mindset when you go up there on stage?
My mindset, my mindset is, well, I'm coming to win, man. I'm coming to win. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm doing something that I love doing. So doing something that I've been doing for like 13 years now since I was a kid. So, you know, every time I go on stage, every time I make it to the stage, it's a blessing. You know, we made it here. There's no injuries. I'm happy with the look. I'm happy to be on stage. I'm happy to put on a show for the fans. And I'm happy to, you know, fight for an opportunity to win. So when I get up there, I'm just over the moon. Now, there are times where I do feel nerves. Now, it's like, it's weird because it's like, I don't think I'm nervous. I can tell from like little things that's happening with my body that there's nerves there. But I just fight it, man. I just fight it. I'm like, you know, fuck you, get out of here. It's like, and I just act like they're not there. And like, there's moments where I'll like pose, and it's funny because I used to shake a lot when I posed, and you know, people would attack me for it, and I'm like. It's weird because I don't feel like I'm nervous, but the nerves are there somewhere, right?
Yeah.
A lot.
Maybe we're flexing just like a little bit, like a percentage too hard sometimes.
Yeah. That's
because we're trying to win.
Oh, 100%. And also, like, if you've gotten posing feedback in the past where like, you got to pose as hard as you can. I've had that before. So I did that and I'll be shaking. I look back and feel like, fuck. But yeah, no. So I just think the more you do it, you just kind of understand like, how to go about it, how to compose yourself better. So, just using everything that I've learned over the years and just going up there and trying to have a good time.
Yeah, I agree. Like I've been doing posing practice every week with my coach, and I'm like practicing posing consistently. But the thing that's taught me the most has just been getting up there on stage. Easily.
Yes. That's, dude, like experiences. I've been working with posing coaches for years, and I would pose with posing coaches often. And like I would do, what is going on?
Is it the kitty?
I don't know what they're doing. No, we have a self-cleaning litter box. There's a sound going on, but one of them is trying to get into the bathroom.
That's hilarious.
Sorry. What was the question?
I think we were talking about learning posing and then practicing it and getting better by going on stage.
Yes. So yeah, I've done so much posing rounds with posing coaches, and I'd do like 1 or 2 shows a year, and then I'd shake and I'd get attacked, and people would be like, you need to practice your posing. It's funny because most times when fans comment criticism, they have no idea what they're talking about. Like they really don't know what they're talking about. Like there's so many people that practice their posing every single day, and they get on there and that can happen, right? So being this year, having done 5 shows, and like every show, I just felt like I was just more composed to the point where I could just get on stage and pose, and it just feels a lot more comfortable because you're just there all the time, you know? So I think it's good as a competitor to compete at as many shows as you can do, whatever works out for your schedule, just because for one, like, you know, people want to see you compete, you know, people want to see bodybuilding. They're a fan of you. Sorry, what was that?
Low-key, I feel like even the judges want to see you compete. Like even like the federation wants to see you compete sometimes.
No, dude, 100%, man. Like one of the things that was cool for me this year was it felt like, you know, when you go there, like it felt like they're like happy to see you, happy to meet you. You know, once you're like, you know, you're at this for a while, they see you at other shows. So they're excited. Promoters are excited that you come to do their show. And like, it was like kind of like a cool experience. Like, oh shit, me? Like, I just feel like I'm like a regular person, right? So just nice to kind of feel welcome like that. And yeah, no, 100%, man. The judges are happy to see you. The judges are happy that people are choosing these shows because it makes their job more fun, man. It makes their job more fun when you got somebody that's on the rise that's continuing to like battle it out with, you know, other guys. So yeah, getting up there is definitely, I think, the best thing you could do for your posing.
The fucking fans went crazy for you too, right?
Dude, that was this is the thing, man. There's people that are like negative, and they'll say things like, "Oh, you shouldn't be happy. You should be whatever."
Right.
Like, man, like, but why though? I'm like, dude, I walked off to a standing ovation. Like, what? Should I go cry in the car? Like, you know, like, should I? Like, how could I be upset, man? Like, it's It's truly like an honor, and it's a really beautiful thing to be able to connect with people just through something that you love. Like
Yeah.
we don't speak the same language. I understand like 0.5% of French, very little. We like, you could speak a different language than people, and this is what I learned traveling at different places. Whether it's somebody in Texas or fans in Texas, fans in Tampa, here in Toronto, anywhere over there in Europe or even Asia, like people can appreciate what they see. When they see like a good physique, like they understand a good physique. And when they see good posing, man, like it really can touch people, man. And I think that's what made the difference between, me me losing the show and also just the way I connected with the fans. Because they just enjoyed how I presented my physique.
I love that, bro. That's awesome. I think that's one of the things to take home that I experienced this year as well is that, dude, don't worry about what the judges do because that outcome, what they feel like, what they think is out of your control. But what is in your control is how you perform, how you look, and that stage presence that people watch when they're up there. And people will see that. So regardless of whatever the judges place you, you give your best and the people will see that. Everyone will see that and people will acknowledge that because you've put your work out there. You've tried your best. You've gone as hard as you can, and you've given the best package that you could possibly give. And if you put that out there, it's going to be seen. So when I came off stage as well, like even though I did not place as well as I would have liked, of course, because we all want to get first or we all want to get qualified and everything, but like each time I came off stage, I felt like how much I practiced the posing and how much I put into my art, how much I put into my finals routine was seen and was acknowledged. And like coming off the stage and having so many different random people that I've never known come up to me and be like, holy shit, dude, your posing was fucking amazing. It was literally a gift to like see your finals routine, and just all of these really nice words to hear from people was very, very comforting and very uplifting, and just makes you excited to do it more.
Yeah,
because exactly. Posing for bodybuilding is fun, man. Like, no offense to men's physique, but like posing for bodybuilding is so fucking fun, bro. So it's cool to hear that.
Yeah, because men's physique is like pretty limited, right?
It's so limited, man.
You only add so much personality into quarter turns. Right?
Yeah.
So no,
it's not even a quarter turn. It's just literally a half turn for men's physique, which sucks.
Yeah, man.
I wish they gave them more freedom.
Yeah, I do too, man. I do too. I think it would be cool. Like, I don't know if they have any intentions of doing that, but I think it would make things a little bit more interesting.
I think so too. Yeah. I think that's important, honestly, because like front double bicep, you can do it in multiple ways. You can do it with a twist, you can do it turn, you can do it straight on. But for men's physique posing, it's like they kind of want the same thing. You know? I mean, there's some guys that could do straight on, like Ryan Terry, for example. But it seems like the more variation you do and the more transitions, the more they count off. They count off against you, which sucks.
Okay.
Because it's like the judge feedback I had in the last show was like it was a common thing that all the judges in the panel said that they really loved your transitions in between poses. That's fucking cool to hear. If I did that in men's physique, they would not say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think they deserve more freedom.
Well, here's to hoping.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to ask one last question before going to the Q&A if you're down. But I didn't really get to ask you about your background. So I was kind of curious about when bodybuilding started for you. Like what inspired you to start this bodybuilding journey in the first place? And I guess, were there any obstacles that you ended up having to face along the way getting started?
So basically, as soon as I got out of high school, or even when I was still in high school, I was 17, I was playing basketball, and I'm realizing, okay, when I turn 18, the community center, they're going to start charging me to play because it's free for kids. It's free for teens, right? So like, okay, like shit, like I don't got no money. I can't pay to hoop. Also, I'm not really going anywhere at this point. So I started using my brother's key tag to get to the gym. And I just wanted to stay active because I've been an athlete my whole life. So I would go in and out of the weight room, like, because during the phys ed, we'd have like portions where we go in the weight room, start lifting and stuff. So there was portions throughout my teen and preteen years where I'd be in the weight room, but I was never consistent until I was 17. And when I realized, okay, like basketball's done now, and all my friends, they're going to college. I took the year off. I took the year off at the time because I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. But all I know is I do like training. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep training. So I was like 17 and turning 18. I was just training. I was just in the gym. And some of my friends would come to the gym with me. And then at some point, they started to fall off. And they fall off. I'm like, well, I'm still going. I need to get my workout in. So I keep going. And then I got a job at American Eagle.
No shit.
So I was balancing an American
I remember wearing that shit in high school.
Bro, I love that shit back then. They had some really cool stuff back then. I was working there and in a city far away from where I lived. And I just like used that opportunity to like train at like different gyms on the way home and stuff. And yeah, it was just cool. It was a cool experience. And it's just funny because I had no direction in life. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was just kind of stressed out because, I have a Nigerian dad. And they apply pressure, man. They're like, oh, all your peers are in school. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're working out. I'm like, yo, ease up, man. I took a year off. Let me give me till the end of the year to figure it out, So yeah. I'm just training. And, every year just kind of like progressed into something else. And then eventually I started working at a gym. I was doing personal training. And yeah, it just kept snowballing. And then eventually when I was 19, I'm like, I'm going to compete later this year. So when I turned 20, I had done my first show, but not before I went to a few raves. I went to a few raves that I went to my first festivals. And then after the festivals, I went to this thing called Caravana, which is like a Caribbean festival. And then I was like, all right, like I went hard this summer. It's time to prep. And I went right into the contest prep and I did my first show. And yeah, it was just from that moment on, I was just like, okay, like this thing's kind of addicting. So I just kept doing it.
Hell yeah. That's fucking tight. Was there ever any ruts that you experienced back then that you felt like bodybuilding helped pull you through?
I didn't think that I was capable of being a hard worker. When I was around those years, I didn't think that I just thought some people were by design supposed to work harder than others. I thought some people were destined for certain things. I didn't think that I was somebody that was ever going to be able to follow a diet.
Honestly, I remember you saying in Fuad's podcast that you like didn't really care about school too much. You were just kind of like making by and just making sure you graduated, I guess.
Yeah, because honestly, the thing is I didn't have belief in myself. I didn't think that I was afraid that if I tried, I was afraid that if I tried, I would fail. And if I tried and failed, it would expose me for being like worthless as I thought I really was. Yeah. So I didn't want to try. So instead, I just fucked around, basically. I just, dicked around and got through. I'm like, hey, I got through without trying. And that was, for me, it was like more of a flex than like trying and failing. And yeah, I just didn't believe in myself. That's where it came from. I just didn't have any self-belief. And through working out, it started as such a superficial goal. You want to, I want arms. I want good arms. I want sharper abs. I want the girls to be like, who's that at raves? Like I was almost training exclusively for raves at first, man. I was watching all these rave videos of these guys looking all jacked. I'm like, man, that's got to be me. So I'm like,
same, bro. I'd prep for raves.
Bro, legit, man. I would like trial. I remember doing like a trial cut for like this small festival first. And yeah, it was a really cool experience. But it wasn't till so I was training and it was actually, I was still in high school at this point. A girl in one of my classes came up to me and she's like a girl I had a lot of respect for because she's like one of those student government, like hardworking people. And she said something to me about like, wow, you have really good work ethic, like pertaining to me being in the gym. And I remember like, I've never heard that before. I've never had somebody tell me that I worked hard before at that point in my life. So it was like, I had an epiphany, and it was like those words, like they stuck with me for like basically like the rest of my life, because at that point I was like, holy shit, I am doing something that is hard for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm doing something consistent with it. I'm seeing progress. I'm like, shit, this is what it is. I'm working hard. I'm like, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that hard. I'm just like,
Right.
you're just applying yourself. So once I came to that realization, what it helped me do is just it helped me believe in myself, man. I feel like I believe I could do anything. And I believe in everybody else too. I think that we're all capable of a lot more than we think we are.
Yeah.
It just comes down to applying yourself and giving it a go. And the difference between what I was then and what I am now is I'm not afraid to fail. You know, some people be like, oh, you lost to a classic guy, like, you know, they'll talk shit. And I'm like, dude,
dumb.
like, what are you doing? You know, you know, like you'll get people criticizing and talking shit. Right. And I just take it in stride, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, I'm putting myself out there. I'm putting myself on the line, and that comes with it. You know, the feedback is going to be positive and negative. You just got to take the good with the bad. But, you know, I know that at the end of the day, sometimes you have to take risks, and it can work positively and sometimes not so positively. But I do think overall this was a positive year.
Yeah, I think so too, brother. I do. And I really love what you said there. That's the thing, right? Is like a lot of things really do feel like work and they feel exhausting. But when you find that thing that you really, really love and that you're passionate about, don't really feel like work anymore.
No.
Kind of feels a little bit easier. So I think we're all very blessed to find our passion in bodybuilding and to continue to grow through it, because it does make us greater men, not just in the gym and not just in our sick ass physiques, but definitely all around humans and in our mentality as well. So it's a blessing for sure.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's run this Q&A real quick. A little speed run if you're down.
Let's do it.
I never leave enough time for the Q&A, and it's a problem I need to fix because our boys deserve their questions answered if the internet will work. That was such a fucking sick pic of you, dude, by the way, that I used for the story. You. God, that's so fucking tough, dude. That's crazy.
Thank you, bro. I really appreciate it. I love that picture when I first saw it. Like, damn.
I can't wait to see you on the Olympia stage, man. Genuinely, you got the craziest fucking physique and structure.
Yeah, man. In due time, next year we'll make it happen.
Fee2Go asks, Q became more of a fan favorite with the trials. Does he feel coming so close helped?
Sorry, what was that?
He says that you became more of a fan favorite with the trials, like I guess the shows. Do you feel like coming so close helped?
Yeah. I think so. And I'm glad that they think I'm a fan favorite. Yeah, I think, you know, coming close helps and just not giving up. You know, the fact that I just kept going and I had a good mindset about it. I got a lot of feedback, and I had a lot of like people talking to me, saying some shit to me at the Olympia where I just had to like stand there and just be strong.
Really?
Yeah, they were saying some, like, it was good stuff, but just like, you know, like almost got me emotional, you know, but I had to stand there and be gangster because couldn't fold right there.
That's funny.
But no, like I think a lot of people can connect to that because, you know, it's more relatable for people to go for something and not get it than to boom, you do it out of one shot and then you're going to the Olympia. Whereas like it shows like a little bit more, you just see a little bit more out of the athlete when they have to work a little harder for it.
Gotcha. Ryan, he says his thoughts on the PPL split. Make sure he knows who asked the question. He'll get it. Ryan, she fit this.
This guy. Yeah, honestly, I chirp him about the PPL, but the truth is, I think the PPL is great, and I actually program it for some clients just depending on what their goals are. Okay. I've done like a modified PPL before. I prefer the bro split personally, but it's gonna, if you're training hard enough, if you're applying yourself correctly, like almost anything's gonna work. You could do an upper lower split, it's gonna work. You're gonna build a lot of tissue doing anything if you're doing the right things.
Is that what you do? Is that your training split? The BB or the BBL? The BBL split?
BBL split.
The bro split?
Yeah, bro split basically.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah, just chest one day, back one day, legs one day, rest. And right now it's like with all the travel, dude, it's like hard to say what my schedule is because I've been like here and there recently. So it's like a 4 or 5 day split. Sometimes I'll do shoulders and arms. Sometimes I'll split shoulders and then arms. But yeah, it just depends on like where I'm coming from that week.
Cool. That makes sense. I think the cool thing though about the thing that I do like about the bro split is it's a lot easier to make sure that you're basically training everything in proportion, which you have a pretty damn proportional physique. So, I mean, it seems to be working.
Thanks.
The only advantage of like doing the other things is like if you can't train yourself to the ground with each muscle group, then, you know, train half the volume and then do it again. And so you have a frequency of 2 times per week. It's just like a different type of style that I think allows for one to like increase the stimulus a little bit. But if you're training fucking hard on each day, there's not very much difference, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you enjoy it. Frankie Gutierrez asks, how did his approach to prep change coaching himself versus working with his last coach?
Yeah, so I guess we touched on that earlier, but
yeah, we touched on it a little bit.
Yeah, the biggest thing was I'm calling the shot, so I can see if something is going wrong, and I can make decisions on the fly. Whereas in that experience, like there were times where maybe decisions weren't being made or things weren't being caught. So yeah, when something goes wrong, essentially I could be able to pick up on it fast, and just had a lot less hiccups this prep.
What hiccups do you remember from the last prep? Like things not being caught?
Well, just like losing a bunch of tissue. Like that's basically it, you know, just never, it was just all good job, man. You're doing great. Right. Which there's no acknowledgement of like, hey, something's a little off. Like what's going on? Right. So without that there, it's like, okay, if there's no identifying that there's a problem, how do you really fix it?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. But this time, obviously, it's a lot more work for me to like really like have to overanalyze my physique, because I don't really like to look at myself that much. You know, it's like it's repetitive, right? So I had to this year, and I would basically catch if something was off and make necessary changes.
Gotcha. Speaking of that question, Mike Geary 430 asks, do you plan on ever getting a coach?
Well, at this point, you know, you would hope that the trajectory continues to be positive with having more data than I ever have had before. So I would hope, and I'm obviously working and doing things much different than I have in the past, even during this health phase / off-season period. So I am expecting a much better outcome at the future shows. And if things keep trending that way, I wouldn't see why I would have to have a coach.
Yeah. What's different about this health phase than earlier health phases?
So the biggest thing is I'm just prioritizing cardio and or steps, like depending on where I go.
Okay.
Because in Japan, with the schedule we're on, it's hard to stop at a gym to do cardio. But yeah, so I'm just keeping my activity level much higher, keeping the food at a good level, keeping it capped at a certain place. So I'm not pushing food hard. So that's basically something that I'm implementing during this health phase, and then I'm going to keep going throughout the off season. So I'm not gonna increase the food much in the off season. If I increase it at all, right now I plan to keep it the exact same.
We're doing about the same thing right now for our health phase. Yeah. Because I'm like I really like the whole like staying as insulin sensitive as possible, you know, and so I decided to do something different. Like instead of just fucking pushing food immediately hard after the show, I'm like now during this health phase, I told Patrick I'll be back in 12 weeks after it's over. I'm going to do it myself. And I'm just trying to keep my body fat percentage as decently low as possible while maintaining as much mass as possible, so that by the time the cycle comes in, you know.
I think it's a good idea, man.
Me too. Yeah.
You're going to be able to optimize so many things without having to put so much stress on your body.
Yeah, for sure. Jared Jack asks, Was this cycle for prep and off season the same, or if it was different, how was it different than the prep for with Matt? How was it different with the prep with Matt?
The cycle stuff is not much different, to be honest. Yeah, like that's like I'd say it's not very different. I don't really go into detail on this topic, but
yeah. Okay. Honestly, if I was doing shit myself, I would probably keep most of the stuff consistent as well. Like I don't really feel like I don't ever really feel like much things change anyways. Like normally my preps with most of my coaches, it's all like the same compounds that go in.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's just, I keep it so simple, right? Like you got like a test base and like one or two other things. Like there's only so much more you can do or add to it before you start getting more sides or your body's under more stress. So
yep.
I know what has worked for me in the past, and
You just keep it there.
replicate that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking through the questions because some of these questions we kind of already answered. Like Darren Farrell, IFBB Pro, great guy. He works under John Jewett. He asks how did you objectively monitor the final few weeks and adjustments? And you kind of like said like sometimes you would like reach out to someone for like a second perspective, but most of the time you're just trying to make decisions on the fly, right?
Oh, so I do have another one to say about this. So I spoke to Chris Tuttle, and he gave me some really, really good advice on how to like keep my check-in process more objective and to like lean less on other people. So he like basically helped me with like told me like what he does or what he would do, and I would just start doing check-in videos, which I would send myself pictures before, but he would send himself videos. So he recommended doing video, and I would end up sending myself like videos and try and get it in like the same spot, same lighting, and with all the necessary feedback for that week or for that half week. I would send that off to myself, and I'd send it to myself on WhatsApp or email. Yeah, WhatsApp, I think. And that way I could pull it up on my computer and I could put the video side by side, which is something that I actually did before. And I could actually look to see, okay, I'm looking at the videos in real time. The videos are around the same amount of time. And I can see, okay, this looks fuller. Like I'm clearly fuller in this one.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yes. So that was something that I implemented that I think a lot of people can implement that would help objectify that process.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to lean on the opinions as much. I think the opinions are still good to have. But I think the more you could do by yourself is the better, because again, somebody else's influence might not always be the best for you, or it might not always be what you wanted in the end, but it might be, but it's still good to get that opinion, because sometimes you're just not where you need to be.
Awesome. Yeah. That was super valuable, bro. That's cool. I don't even know. I never thought about doing that, but it makes a lot of sense. What do you, Raza Raf asks, what do you think it is that made you successful as a self-coached pro?
Just self-belief, man. There's so many coaches out there that have, been coaching for a very long time, that have a ton of athletes. There's a lot of coaches that theoretically should be, you would think this coach, if I hired them, would be the ideal coach for me or whatever. But I just really believed in myself. And obviously I know myself, I've been in my body. Yeah. And I'm just not that anal the way that a lot of people are. And there have been times in my career when I've been super anal about, okay, it's got to be this, got to be this, got to be to the gram, got to be... Dude, I've been around bodybuilders that are very successful that aren't that anal about it. And I just decided not to let myself be too anal. So if something's a little off at times, it is what it is. We'll make it work. Like sometimes, let's say if my girlfriend, she wants to make my meal, she chooses to, right? If she messes a measurement up, like I have like this mini panic in my head, and then I'm like panicking. I'm like, you did what? Like this is way more than I was supposed to eat. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, and it's just like, okay, it's just like probably like 20 grams of carbs. It's realistically, it's not going to make much of a difference, right? So it's just you just learn to like handle things better. I think just because I was just so ready to adapt to things, and I also, like I said, I had good people in my corner. So if I was off, they'd let me know, hey, you're off, or hey, you need to do this. And the posing, dude, I work with Joey Belt. He's incredible at posing. But I just think, as much as I was self-coached, like it still takes a village. So I still had like a good circle of people. And I just really believed in myself, and I wasn't going to allow myself to fail.
That's cool, man. I like that a lot. I think what I learned as well is kind of similar, where it's like, you're on your purpose and you're fucking executing everything as well as you can. But when something goes wrong, it's already gone wrong, and now that's out of your control. I have to turn that switch on and be like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Now it's time for me to focus on the next step for my purpose, the next step on what I want, because that's going to get me even better in the future. So I just look forward and I move forward.
Yeah, dude, you could end up fucking harping on that for like a day if you're not careful.
Yeah. No,
So-
seriously, man. I've done that. I've been there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good questions here, but there's so many, bro. Nick Bailey, you're fucking popular, brother. Nick Bailey asks, what's the biggest thing you've learned about training and nutrition since coaching yourself?
Biggest thing I've learned, again, like it's training. Training should be the number one priority. That's what I would recommend. That's what I prioritized this year. I would say there was a point where that fell off. When you're doing so many shows within like a short time period, you're not going from one show into a peak week. Like you're not actually able to train hard. And if you train hard,
Yeah, it's hard, right? Yeah.
you're going to be inflamed if you train hard, if you're competing one week and then the next week. So you can't train hard. So one of the things that, I kind of fell off of that for periods of time was just because of the nature of the scheduling of the shows. However, for the actual prep, when I had extended periods of time to get ready, the priority was the training. Like I always prioritized the training, and I didn't care how the rest of my day went. I could have been miserable at the beginning of the day. I could have been miserable right after the workout.
Mhm.
I was going to have a damn good workout every single day.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter what I had to do to get there. I made sure every workout. I didn't have one bad workout that prep.
I totally agree with that, man. And it's tough too, because during the end of prep, man, you are dragging and you're like, fuck, I don't want to work out. Fuck, this workout's going to suck. Fuck, it's hard for me to push. But it's something I kept reminding myself. So this time I even tried to like prioritize the carbs more around the workout. And even sometimes I do a little bit of cyclodextrin during the workout, even if it meant that I get less food to eat. But it would always help so much with the actual training. And I think it just benefited so much in the actual final outcome, as well as preserving size and fullness in my muscles.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been big on using cluster dextrin during training for most of the prep. I pulled it out at a certain point. Like I said, there's a point where I was like, okay, they want me leaner, and I pushed hard, and I pushed like probably harder than I needed to. But that was when I went to the UK, so as low as I was eating, like my training was still crazy.
Yeah.
I was training like an animal with Samson.
That shit's fucking fire, man. I love cluster dextrin. Personal question, actually. Did you happen to, was there anything that you adjusted with your training as you got closer to the show, aside from peak week? Like, was there, I'm trying to remember who I was speaking to. I think it might have been Chris, honestly, where he and Jordan, or was it Chris or John Jewett? Actually, I think this was John Jewett, where he pulled, I think with Sean Clarita, the volume was maybe just like 80% of what it was in the beginning, because Clarita was still hitting it very intense, but at a certain point, with how low the calories were and the activity, even if it was just steps, it started affecting his recovery a little bit. So they had to pull back the volume by just like maybe 20% from like the normal off-season volume. Is there anything that you ended up having to do like that, or was volume pretty consistent throughout prep?
My volume was pretty consistent. My recovery, I don't know why, my recovery is just never an issue. Like,
No, that's awesome.
At least that I can think of. Like, I don't think I had an issue at all with recovery. So I kept it as hard as possible until the peak week.
Is there anything special you do for sleep, or any supplements that you take for sleep?
Ooh, dude. So my Apple Watch said that for about 2 months, my average sleep was like 4.5 hours.
What the fuck?
Yeah, during that
How the fuck are you recovering, bro? That's
dude,
crazy.
I have no clue. So some days it was 6 hours. Some days it was 6, but like, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how I was recovering. But dude, I'd wake up, I'd feel pretty great. I'd like get up, I'd take all whatever supplements I need to take in the morning. It's like 4 a.m. My girlfriend's still sleeping. I'd go to the gym. I'd do cardio. I'd come back. She's still sleeping. I'd go for a walk. I'd go for a walk for like 40 minutes. And like, I'd have like this whole day. I'd answer some clients in the morning, and then she'd finally wake up and do her fasted cardio. And then I'd wait for her to get back. Then we'd eat. Like I was just, dude, I was on fire, man. I just felt like I could do anything, and I was doing like literally anything I could.
That's awesome, bro.
But yeah, I don't know. For some weird reason, I just function. I think being heavier for me is like harder for my body. And once I'm like in that like 280 pound weight range, my body's just like, yeah, we like being here, and we're gonna show you that we like it here. So
Nice. That's sick. Wow. So I'm assuming you didn't use any like peptides, like mitochondrial supports or anything.
I've tried it. I've dabbled. I like the MOTS-C.
Okay, cool. Both me and Martin both use MOTS-C as well, and I think it really helped. It helped a bit with like fatigue and energy, I think.
I mean, I paired it with other things, so I can't really like isolate what I really felt from it. I did like the SLUPP though.
Yeah.
That one was really cool. I used that during the prep.
Same.
I've used the BPC, TV500, all that, KPV. Like, I like a lot of those ones. Like, good for recovery. Trying to help. One of my elbows is a bit banged up, so put that in there from time to time, and it helps.
Okay, gotcha. SRC Aesthetic says, "Why is he so pretty?"
Why, thank you.
Andre Cox asks, "How does it feel to be on live TV during the World Series?" That was cool.
Honestly, I wasn't like, it was a cool opportunity. And first and foremost, like the best part was I got to spend that time with one of my good friends, and he is a super fan of baseball. And yeah, I knew it was just such a, like, just in terms of like being him being such a good friend of mine, it was like I knew it was going to be a life-changing experience for us. And then the fact that, we went viral and we're running the Elevate stuff was really cool. And the feedback that we got after was really funny. So that was nice. It was a cool experience. Dude, that game was awesome too. Like we really showed the Mariners who was boss.
That's fucking awesome, bro. That's dope. Hajong Yo says, shout out to his gyno recovery videos. His videos really helped me out.
Oh, hey, glad that it helped you.
Yoseba Para, the homie, big fan of the pod, asks, have you had a partner be a stressor? What was it like having Britt for this year of competing?
Oh, Britt is like literally perfect, man. It's I can't say enough good things about her. She's just such a sweet heart. She's such a loving person. And I will have moments where I'm just like, not my best in terms of, like, when I say I'm not my best, I'm just like not very affectionate, especially in prep. Like, you get to the point where you feel like such garbage that you don't want to be touched, right? It has nothing to do with anyone else. Like, the cats will come close and I'm like, ugh. Like, I'll take it.
No, I've been there, bro. Like, I fucking love dogs so much, and I'll be in prep so hard, and a dog will fucking come up on me and like rub its shit around me while I'm trying to do work and just relax, and I'll get so fucking irritated on the inside. So irritated. I love dogs.
Yeah, dude, trust me, I'm obsessed with my cats. They would like come to me and get close. I'm like, I'd pick them up. Like, the girl, she would literally come on sit on my lap. I'd literally pick her up, move her away. She'd come back on my lap, pick her up, move her away. Like, literally, it would happen like 10 times some nights. And I'm like, man, why is she so fucking annoying? I just pick her up, I put her in the cat tree, and I go sit down. Like, so that's the thing. It's just like, you're just not your best self. And yeah, the worst thing is I understood that I was going to be like that, and I prepped her. I made it seem way worse than it would be, so that so it wasn't as bad when it happened.
Right.
So she handled it very well. But I just never wanted her to think that like it was anything personal, and she never did. So yeah, she was a rock star, man. She helped. She would make a bunch of my meals. She wanted to come with me to every show. She always wanted to be there to support me, and it just made the process so much easier. Where, as they asked, I have had a relationship where it was the opposite. I've had, people in my life that added stress, and that's happened. Honestly, with a job like bodybuilding, I can't say that I would blame the other person, because it's a very hard process to get accustomed to. So, your average person that's not into bodybuilding, or not just a super compassionate person, isn't really going to blend well with this lifestyle. So
yes,
you got to be very careful.
I agree.
You got to be very careful. And if you find someone as a competitor that's very supportive of your goals and understands the process, and doesn't kind of take things personal, then you've got yourself a keeper.
I couldn't agree more, man. It is so powerful to have that support system, especially as like your partner being there for you, especially if it's like a wifey material and they're like helping you cook your fucking meal preps. That's just fire. Like I've had all my exes in my past were not bodybuilders. Like they didn't really understand it. And it was really tough for me to like keep doing the bodybuilding thing with their kind of lifestyles, not being able to like do the same things as them or really like go out to restaurants all the time every week. You know, it was always kind of tough. And when I found my most recent partner, like there were a lot of times that she was there for me. And there were a lot of times where like she'd cook my sweet potatoes, for example, and it would just be the most amazing thing, man. And it would make everything so much smoother and easier. But she did also go through a lot of things herself that made her unable to be there for me at certain periods of time. So I realized like in those periods of time, I had to learn like, okay, when she wasn't around or she wasn't able to be there for me or she had to take care of herself and only had energy for herself, I had to go find that support system from my own friends or the people that I call my family, which are normally my closest friends around. And that would always be very helpful too, because they were there to uplift me, you know? Even if I had to like cook everything myself and prepare everything myself and do all that stuff myself, it's totally fine because we can do that because we're men and we're strong and we move forward. But having that support system, I think, was very powerful regardless of who it was. So if you can find a partner that can do that for you, even better, man. I think so.
100%. I mean, like, I know a lot of people that do this, and like some of their partners, they don't even want to touch their food. They won't help them. And I'm like, I mean, like for me, if like my lady needs anything, like I'll help her out. Like, you know,
yeah, same.
It's like you want to make their life easier, and that's what their mindset is towards you too. So when I hear that, I'm like, oh, they don't want to help you at all. I'm like, all right, I'm like, well, I mean, hey, to each their own. But I feel like when you're this deep in this lifestyle, like you guys have got to be locked in.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah. I do find that kind of surprised when they don't want to help. And I don't know, but because I always felt like I always felt the urge myself. Like every single day I would ask, like, is there anything you need? And then I would always go get the groceries for her whenever she was prepping herself. And I just, like, she already had so much on her plate when she was prepping and I wasn't, you know, especially with the crazy exhaustion and low energy and just feeling like fucking having to be couch potato all day. So I feel like there's honestly a lot of things that we can do to help them out that are just very small things that don't take too much time out of the day. Just like grabbing the groceries for both of y'all, you know, I don't know, something simple. So John Benjamin 98, another big homie of the podcast, asks, was it Summits fever or you believed you could have qualified and kept going to shows, try and win? I actually don't know what Summits fever is. Do you know what that is?
No.
Should I look that up?
Yeah, search it up.
Summits fever. John Summits fever? Summit fever. It's a movie. A young English mountaineer is lured to the Alps by his friend to help him conquer the big three. This is probably not what he's referring to. Trying to reach the top? Something about trying to reach the top, I guess. Summit fever definition. Summit fever is an overwhelming desire to reach a mountain summit that overrides good judgment and leads a person to ignore safety concerns. Oh, interesting. I feel like that wouldn't be you. I feel like you care about your safety and your health, especially as a self-coach person.
That's funny. No, man. No. Never heard that one.
You definitely could have qualified, bro. You came you came so close every time, and I think you deserve to win some of those shows. So I think you definitely
honestly, even on top of that, even on top of like wanting a specific outcome, man, I love bodybuilding, man, and to be in the position where I'm like, well, yeah, I'll just do another show. And to just keep competing, keep doing shows, like it's something that I love to do.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, like, and no, like, geez, I think sometimes people think, maybe from the outside looking in, this person might think like there's a lot of sacrifice in terms of like my body, like my health. Like there wasn't. Like I was fine. Like glutathione is also something that I would use for the majority of the prep.
Okay, cool.
Did on point with my health supplements. And honestly, the craziest part for me is like during prep, I'm way more healthy than I am in the off season, because that's like my body's finally at like a healthier weight. My sleep apnea isn't as bad.
That's a big one.
Yeah. So it's just like my body I'm doing more cardio than I normally do. So like my heart's that is healthy. It's like I'm usually healthier in prep.
Gotcha. Makes sense. I actually feel the same. Weirdly, I feel healthier in prep. Even if normally my blood work is about the same. off season and prep, but I have had healthier blood work during prep like last year, and I think this year was probably even healthier because I was running less shit and on even more antioxidants and more glutathione. So I just haven't gotten it checked, but yeah, honestly, yeah, bro, it's weird.
Sometimes,
it's kind of weird. I think that was a good question. Honestly, I just for me, for example, too, I wasn't even nearly as close to winning, but I still did 3 shows for the experience because I got better every time, just like we said. You know, like I'm so fucking glad I did this 3rd show because not only was the outcome fucking awesome, but like, damn, like that's the best I performed, and now I know that I can perform like that or better next time because you learn every time. You do.
That's it.
Let's finish up last couple questions. I don't want to take too much out of your time, man. I know you're fucking hella jet lag right now.
Oh no, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm just starting to feel leg tight. I trained legs yesterday, and I was wondering.
Same.
Huh?
Same.
Yeah, I was wondering, like it was a hard leg day, so I was like, this morning I did cardio. I'm like, I'm like why don't I feel it yet? I'm like, I know it was a good one. I'm just starting to feel it in my glutes right now.
That's funny, bro. Dude, that's the worst when you start feeling it more and more. And then I have this thing too if I do a really hard leg day, it's so easy for me to get the leg cramps that night.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know. Like I'll fucking take magnesium, I'll take electrolytes, I'll hydrate. Yeah. It just still happens. It's crazy.
That's what one of my friends is like. I'm lucky. That doesn't happen to me, but yeah, a couple of my friends that happens to.
Bro, I was on this date right after leg day. I was dressed up in a bow tie, suit, everything.
Oh no,
bro, and Italian restaurant, and mid fucking eating some like pasta and shit. My fucking legs cramped up, and I like had to go like this, and I fucking, I was like having this kind of, I'm trying not to be offensive, but I look like I had Tourette's for a second, and it was really bad because then I just started sweating profusely, and I was like, please give me a second.
What did she say?
It was very awkward.
Was she like a gym goer or nah?
No, this was Lexi, my partner, so at least she kind of understood, but it was still pretty damn awkward. She was like very concerned, but like didn't know what to do, and was just like,
Was it like the beginning stages?
No, this was kind of recent. This was pretty recent. Yeah, it was super recent. Yeah, super recent, honestly. We've also just been going through a little bump in the road because she's had to. I'm trying not to talk too much about personal stuff, but you know what happens whenever like someone has to. You know how like when hormones change, like as a bodybuilder, you understand how it felt like when you took your first cycles and all of these things. Yeah. Well, she's had to go through a lot of experiences where she's trying to like figure out how to stabilize her body, and you know, as she's becoming more an adult, because she's a lot younger than me. And one of those things is, for example, coming off of birth control and Prozac, and then you know other things associated with hormones. So it's kind of tough, especially when birth control is associated. So, but anyways, the Jackson asks, did you ever come to Buffalo, New York, or have you always been in Canada?
Like, I mean, I've passed through Buffalo. I've stopped in Buffalo at like a Trader Joe's before, but I've always lived in Canada. Yes.
Gotcha. Canada breeds some fucking excellent athletes, and Justin Bieber.
Can't forget Bieber, man.
David Lam asks, what is the most important lesson you learned from this year?
The most important lesson I learned from this year is that you got to trust your gut. You got to trust your instincts. Trust yourself, trust your gut, trust your instincts, and just believe in yourself. And, you know, keep a positive mindset, I would say. You know, it's easy to get caught up in other things and, you know, be hard on yourself because other people have expectations of you. Yep. And other people are, you know, feel like you haven't met where you need to be right now. But the thing about life is, you know, we all move at our own pace. And when something's for you, it's for you. And when your time comes, your time is going to come. You know, exactly, as long as you're moving in the right direction, just keep doing what you're doing. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Like if it's working well, do not do something crazy. Don't try and add anything new. And just, stay positive and just keep working.
Facts. I was literally thinking as you were talking that your time will come, and then you said that.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Joshua Kramer asks, biggest regret in the journey, if you have a regret at all.
No, I don't think I have any regrets.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Everything that happened like led me to where I am now, and I'm happy right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, maybe if you asked me
Yeah.
last year, I'd have a
Gotcha. Christian B. Carter asks, what specifically are you planning to improve on to secure your spot at next year's O?
See, so that's the thing. I think the biggest issue for me this year was okay. So the year before with the mat situation, so I don't know if I've ever spoken about this, but like I've said this part somewhere. I was on the verge of retiring. I'm like, I'm tired of this shit. I put everything into this. I sacrificed so much. I didn't go out. I didn't like do this. I wasn't doing all this shit. I was doing everything I was supposed to. It blew up in my face. And it's just like frustrating because also when you're an influencer, like you're sort of your career. Well, I'm a pro bodybuilder first, and off of the back of being a pro bodybuilder, I'm an influencer.
Yep.
But now, unfortunately, when people see you show up like that, they're like, "Oh, this guy don't got it." They unfollow you. They don't really care about what you have to say. Like the value of what you're saying, of what you're doing, is very low when you have such a bad showing like that. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize. So it was like more of like a tough year, probably like my hardest year for bodybuilding as a career. And I'm like, I don't even know what the point is in doing this because, I'm putting all this pressure on myself and I'm putting myself through all this work. And, to have an outcome like that is just, maybe this is just my sign that I should be doing something else. So I started drinking. No. I did. But it wasn't. I wasn't like like just cracking bottles at night. Like I was just being human. I was. I remember I was single at the time. I was going on dates with like regular people, that regular women. I can't leave that too open ended. And like you had drinks, on the dates and stuff, and I'd meet up with friends and have a beer or whatever. I'm just being like a regular guy. So also, if I'm going to eat something, I'm going to eat something. Now, during all this time, I was still training just because it's like, this is part of who I am. So I'm still training. I'm still like posing, even though I'm not like really bodybuilding. So my off season wasn't really an off season during that period. I was just kind of training, or I was training, but I was also like just living a very balanced life. So like
You're
my
taking time off, man.
Sorry?
You're taking time off that you needed.
Yes, exactly. So it wasn't like I had a real off season. So by the time I like really like got structured, I probably had about like from the start of the year, like January to March, for being structured and not like going out a ton. So it wasn't really a lot of time, and I wasn't really like, I didn't go into that off season with a plan of like, okay, this is a structured off season where we're going to do this. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I can do differently this year. But basically, what I'm trying to get at, I said all this shit to say that one of the biggest problems for me in this prep started in the off season from how I conducted myself in the off season. So, letting my weight get to a certain point by, not living the proper lifestyle, that plays a role because when the prep time comes around, I had to lose so much fat. So I had to work so hard to lose so much. So in that process, there is tissue that was lost. So I may have showed up between 274 to 280 at the shows that I did this year. But I think if I had not had to lose so much weight, maybe I could have been like 280 to 284, right? So maybe that range would have changed. So ideally with how I'm conducting it this year, I think their question was, what was their question again?
What specifically are you planning to improve on to secure your spot at the next year's Olympia?
Yeah, so what I'm planning to improve on is it's everything. It's basically living my life like I'm in prep in the off season and in the health phase the entire year. I'm focused the entire year. Now, of course, there's going to be times where I am more relaxed, where I'll have off-plan meals, but that's essentially what the difference is going to be. So I'm going to show up with whatever fullness and tissue that I lost during the last year's prep and with new tissue because I'm doing every single thing possible to make sure that every box is ticked. And it's not a matter of, okay, this one muscle that needs to be bigger. It's this one muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I compare myself to the best of the best, these guys are complete everywhere. So it's like everything needs to come up. Everything needs to be better. So I'm working on everything.
Yeah.
And I do believe this. I'm very, very confident in this approach.
Awesome. Hell yeah, brother. I appreciate you sharing that, by the way, about like your little rut there that you experienced in the previous year. Cause I think we've all been there, man. And I definitely have, especially when you're single at the same time.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucking rough, to be honest.
Man.
Yeah.
See, I want to piggyback off it because Brittany, like go out sometimes. And Brittany really brought out a more balanced side of me. But she also met me at a time where I was like more open to being balanced because of that experience. And there is a part of it where I realize, okay, some of this is actually really good. Now, yeah. I don't drink. I don't like, we're going to Mexico next month. Maybe I'll have some drinks there, but like, I don't like drinking. I don't like how it makes my body feel. I don't like what it does to my metabolism. So that's not something that I will do this year, but yeah, so it's just having the right balance of like doing things, having fun with your partner, having fun with friends, and like still doing everything you need to do to improve. So that's basically what that is looking like for me. And yeah, she's, like I said, she's brought that balance to me. So, you know, I'll go out with her from time to time, but it's not going to be like it was last year.
I feel that. I feel the same. I will do some fucking shrooms though.
Oh, dude, I rock heavy, man, heavy. Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, how did you guys meet? You and Brittany?
We met at the Olympia at the Expo.
Oh shit, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, last year we had it.
What a love story.
I know, it's funny. So we're both from Toronto. Like she lived in downtown Toronto. Mm-hmm. I live like in the suburbs, and we like I've seen her before. She used to come to my gym sometimes, and we were introduced, and she posted something. Like she ended up following me. I followed her back. And like she posted something on her story one day.
We love that, the little follow and follow back.
Yeah. And it was about the sauna. And I love the sauna, right? And I just saw a sauna and I started talking to her about the sauna. And then somehow that like materialized into something else. And she invited me to come out and like, you know, come see her. And like they were her and like a group of my friends, because we have like mutuals, they were out one night. And like I just got back from like a Halloween party. This is like when I was like I said, like this is like retirement version Quinton. Like I'm like, I just got home, it's like 3 a.m. and I just drove home from somewhere that's like an hour and a half away. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm coming out. And I drove to the city, like which is like 40 minutes away. I went there. Yes. I've never done something like that. It was such a crazy idea, but yeah, we did. And we hung out and we had a great time together, and we ended up like talking for like that whole, up until like the sun came up. Yeah. And we just never stopped talking.
Dude, that is awesome, bro. Brother, that actually kind of gave me chills, because it's those times that you just say like, fuck it, I'm gonna fucking do it, dude. Like, even if it's kind of weird or it's just so out there, it's those fucking times where you make shit happen. And then you're just like the next day or like the next week, you're just like, holy fuck, man, this is awesome. Like life is awesome. Like I've been getting myself in this more stoic mindset about just focusing on my purpose and moving forward, and just like fucking like cutting off the things that just aren't serving me or that are bringing me back, you know, focusing on moving forward. And it's been allowing me to attack things and just like make moves and do risky things that I just haven't been doing, because I've been in this like rut of being in this kind of like this same scheduled routine with like certain relationship dynamics that just weren't very fitting for my growth. And like now I'm just like being my own individual self again. And this last weekend in Vegas and everything was just like the best experience I could have ever experienced. So I just want people to remember, like, if you have a chance to do something, you know, just say fuck it and just do it, you know?
Yes.
Like put yourself out there, you know?
Take that risk.
Move forward. Let's just finish up with a couple last questions. So IFBB Pro Rob Quadzilla baby asks, how does he keep his kidney health on point? I'm assuming the kidney supplement that you were talking about earlier. And I guess
so I use Kidney HD year round, and my kidneys are healthy. Like they've been healthy like majority of the prep. Well, all prep. I say majority because I didn't check at the beginning of the prep, but everything's on point right now.
Cool. And then Mike the Strongman one asks favorite free meal. Not the one that you said earlier, the burger and fries, just because you're off. Still burger and fries? Well, even if you didn't go to Japan?
Okay, definitely coming from Japan, definitely burger and fries. But even when I think of it, what do I have the most? I think it would have to be burger and fries over the years. So okay. As basic as it is, like, yeah, that's got to be it.
That's awesome, bro. Honestly, dude, I like went back. I don't know, back when I was competing like years ago, I never really cared to feel like getting a burger and fries after the show, and I think that's because sometimes the coach would be like, "Get a burger and fries before finals or something." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's why I never cared. But like now that I've been working with Patrick, and he literally only has me eat clean food ever. Mm-hmm. I've been craving burger and fries mad, bro. I went to BJ's 3 times to get their brisket burger and fries, and it was gas, bro. Every single time, man. I've been obsessed with that shit, so I get it.
You know
and then
what?
a bazooki on top.
Oh,
that's
me, man. You have to end off with something sweet.
Hopefully Patrick isn't listening to this, but I also ate 2 of my friends' bazookies as well. That was great.
Hey, you're a hungry boy, man. He did that to you. It's his fault.
Yeah, no, for real, bro. So you get it.
Yeah. So it's funny because I'm going to Vegas tomorrow for a guest.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
And bro, there's a place there. And I guess maybe I could change my answer here, because last time I went to Vegas, I was there for 7 days, and I went to the Grand X Cafe 3 or 4 times. I don't remember. It was either 3 or 4. And every time I go and I get their chicken and waffles, bro, it is so.
Oh shit.
I'm going to be there this weekend, and you know damn well I'm going there at least 2 days.
Oh, fuck. Take a picture and put it on your story so I can see it.
I definitely will.
That's awesome. All right. I have one last question I ask everyone at the end of every podcast. But if you were to disappear from the world tomorrow and you had one message you could send to the entire world today, what would that message be?
You know what? I'm going to switch gears and go a little political here. So, You have a lot more in common with the people that you think you hate than you do with the people that are leading the groups that you guys belong to. You know, people have a lot more, left and right, people have a lot more in common with each other than they do with the billionaires that are, leading those packs. I think. Like a lot more in terms of your day-to-day. A lot of things you don't have in common, but I just think it's unfortunate that, we're so divided in like Western system, at least in North America, I should say. Yeah. It's really unfortunate. And I know a lot of people feel very strongly about this stuff, but I just try to remember, not try to remember. I always know that we're all humans, and I try not to judge anybody, and I try not to get too opinionated or too emotional or think that my shit doesn't stink. We're all just different. People see the world differently, and it is what it is.
All our shit stink. No, that's awesome. Yeah. Fuck, bro. I don't think I've ever gotten an answer like that ever.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know. You got to be like episode 160 or 170 or something. Yeah. I've never had an answer like that, bro. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure. We do have a lot in common, and we are all human, and it's a good way to look at it. You ever watch The Boys? The TV show?
Dude, yes.
Oh, I fucking love that show, dog. I fucking love that show.
So I just started watching it this year, and I watched it. Yeah. And I was like, bro, I would like it. I knew it.
Oh, yeah. It's so fire, bro. It's fire. All right. Anyways, thanks for coming on, bro. That was epic. Yeah, that was awesome, bro. Where can everybody find you? Anything you want to promote? Anything at all?
You can find me at Quinton Beastwood on Instagram, YouTube, Mr. Beastwood on TikTok. I don't really post much on TikTok. But, dude, thank you for having me. And sorry about the messing up the time earlier. I slept through our initial agreement.
You're totally fine, brother. I get it.
Yeah, but I appreciate you, us getting this in. Because, I've been looking forward to this role for weeks.
No, so me too, bro. Me too, brother. Me too. Yeah. I'm glad we got to do it. And honestly, best of luck with your future endeavors in bodybuilding, man. You got giant fucking potential. And I really do think you have like one of the best structures by far out there. So I can't wait to see you bring it in and fucking kill it at Olympia.
Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Well, I'll catch you soon.
All right, man. I'll at you later.
All right. Later, brother.
Peace out.